Hello, Trailer Park Mom. Hello, Dusty. Can y'all hear me okay?
Hi.
Hi. What's up?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, let me mute my chat on the other side. Hi, Amanda.
Would you pop out? Hold on. All right, there we go. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Oh, I gotta do something. How are you doing tonight, sis?
Burn the babies.
Burn the babies. Hey, hold on. Can you take over just for 1 second, Dust?
Yeah.
Right.
I have it muted because there's like a lot of noise in the background, but I'm here. Oh no, Amanda, I hope they feel better. What's wrong with them? Looks like the Thumbs Down troll gang is back on track.
I think I got it fixed. I'll be right back with you.
Okay.
Can you look and see if they're still rating? Yes.
Oh yeah, hold on, let's see. Got it. Yeah, I still see it.
We're gonna get it fixed too. Okay, I don't know if I got it fixed yet.
Let me see. I'll refresh it real fast. Doop, 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 boop. Nope, still there.
Oh well, if they wanna be little trotros, let them. I welcome.
That must be a boring night in Trollville.
It must be.
Mm-hmm. Girl.
Girl, you know them. They got to do their tros.
Troll to troll,
It's
troll, troll.
Saturday night for them.
Let's see. New, easier moderation. Press the Alt key to pause the chat, then point to a message to delete it. Block the user, or blah, blah, blah. Block the user or take other actions. Huh. That's annoying. What the hell? Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. No, I'm not. Hold on.
Well, hello there, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
I think I got it fixed, girl.
Well, let's see. Let me refresh it real fast. Yep, got it, Gerg. You got it.
Bye-bye, little churros.
Now you can't see your dirty deeds.
No. Oh, darn. I just took their play toy from them, you guys.
Oh,
How
it's
you
so
doing,
sad.
Terry? They're gonna go cry a river. They don't care about their...
Hold on. What's good, ladies? Well, what is up, Ben?
I'm sorry your back is hurting tonight, sis. What'd you do to it?
Hey. Oh, okay. Okay. I see you, Ben. I see you.
Oh, Ben.
He looks like a friend of that one guy that came in, the 420 dude.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. The boys are sick.
I'll subscribe to you, Ben. I like those channels.
What's up, Ben?
What's wrong with the boys, Amanda? Courtney's just getting over yes, Jackie 420.
Okay. I'm gonna go subscribe to you right now, Ben.
Ay, ay, ay. Daughter is like giggling like a crazy woman in the background. Well, thank you, Ben. We appreciate it.
I just subscribed to you, Ben.
I have way too many tabs open. My goodness.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I know that feeling, sis.
Oh no, Amanda, don't overwork yourself. You gotta give yourself time to relax and let your back heal.
Exactly.
Oh, they have a cold. That sucks. It's so sad when little ones are sick.
I have a daily 420 live stream at 4 p.m. All right, I'll drop in there, Ben.
Terry, I know, right? Where are you located, Ben? You mean Eastern time? If you're in Cali, then
Oh yeah, I
maybe 6
forgot to
o'clock our
ask that
time.
part. Yeah,
Yeah, because
I turned on the bell anyways.
yeah, that's the best way to do it. Is to turn on the bell. Okay, hold on a second.
Make sure you turn on the bell. Just yeah, I like those channels myself, Ben. I'll drop in there on your live streams. I do them daily for 20 live streams for 30 people and a. All right, that's cool, hon. I'll drop in there.
Sorry.
That's cool. Thank you.
I'm back. I had to answer a message.
Oh, you're cool.
Oh, that's awesome, Ben. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what I told him. That'd be cool.
Cool. We need more love.
Yeah, hey, that's what YouTube's supposed to be about. Spread some of that love around.
La 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 la, love your money. Oh God, that is such an old song. Okay, hold on a second.
I gotta stretch my damn legs out.
I sent Alex the link to see if he wanted to come in.
That's cool. That's cool. Oh, thanks, Ben. Like I said, well, I'll drop in there, and I'm sure Dusty will drop in.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, me too.
Say hi.
Yeah, I know that, Terry. We need to get back to the. We need to get back to spreading the love.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but we're not involved in it, so it doesn't matter.
Nah.
They can be crazy all they want over there in the corner, okay?
There's nothing wrong with spreading a little love.
Ow, Pudgy.
Terry, you know me, hon. I'm the kind-hearted person. Unless they get on my bad side, but you know, I try not to let people do that.
Yeah, it's not worth our time.
Life's too short for all that, you know.
I dropped my phone and I didn't even realize it.
Oh no.
My dog doesn't like the lint roller.
Oh wow.
She hates it. Every time I use it to get her hair off the bed, she freaks out on me. No, you can't have it. Stop it. It's mine.
I gotta find the voice Black Dress Dance.
Oh, for the dance?
Yes. My boy's gonna look sharp.
Everyone's crazy about a sharp dressed man.
Welcome, Margaret. How are you, honey?
Hello, Margaret.
Just popped in to say hi. Heart. Have a good weekend, Johnny. You too, sweetie. You too.
Oh, yeah, Terry, definitely. Pudgy, stop. It's mine. You cannot have it.
I am so ready to chop this stuff.
What is it?
My hair. It gets on my nerves.
Oh, my bangs are so long now. They drive me nuts. All I can do is swoop them to the side or pin them back, but I don't like pinning them back because I think I have a big forehead.
Yeah, the boy's gonna go get a haircut, so
yes, please.
Shop. Terry goes, Terry goes, no, Johnny, it's beautiful. I know, Terry, but it is just like, ugh.
The longer my hair gets, the more it sheds.
Well, it doesn't. My hair, when it gets long, it does not want to do nothing.
The reason why I like having long hair is I can just like pull it up in like a sloppy bun on top of my head and be done with it. When I had short hair, I was always styling it.
Here lately, I've been getting bad migraines, so I ain't been doing that much.
When I chopped my hair off the first time when I was a teenager, it was almost down to the like, not my butt, but like right above my butt.
Mm-hmm.
It was super duper long. And I went into the hair salon and my mom was like, Dusty Dawn, you're not going to cut your hair short. And I was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, she didn't let me. And my stepdad and my mom went out for a cigarette, and the salon, the lady, I said, hey, and I showed her a picture that I had pulled out of a magazine, and I was like, I want my hair just like this. And she's like, okay, no problem, and I put it away really fast, and I'm sitting there, and they were out doing whatever they needed to do, come right back in, and they looked at me, and they were like, oh my
God. Let me guess, you like took it short.
Yeah, I did a asymmetrical sort of like bob. No, it wasn't really asymmetrical, but it was like it was short in the back, but it was like a bob that had a lot of texture, and in the front it went longer. So I had like still like long hair in the front, but really short in the back. It was really cute.
Oh wow!
Yes, it's a mom bun. You're going to meet someone who.
Is it that one lady off of Shoot the Shit? I can't think of her name. At the library. That's cool. That is cool.
Oh, they must live in the same area.
Yeah, I think I remember her telling me about it.
Well, that's cool. Y'all can have like a little meet and greet.
That'd be cool.
Hold on a second. I gotta check my messages.
Okay. I had to take my medicine, so I had to shut my camera down for a minute. That'd be really cool, sis. Yes, that's who I thought you were talking about. Hatfield, yes. They seem like a really nice people.
Okay.
Wow. We finally dropped out of the 80s. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was hot here today. It was disgusting outside.
It was here too. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we're like almost in October and we're still like set in almost 90.
Halloween here is such a pain in the ass because it's so hot when you're trick-or-treating. You can't wear like a heavy costume or anything on your face because you can't breathe.
That's the way it's been here the last couple years.
I remember one year it rained, but it was humid and hot outside, so it was like, oh God, this feels so good.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say, Terry. Just be careful and enjoy your time meeting up, Amanda.
It's good that you guys are meeting in a public place.
I mean, I've talked to that person at Phil and Shoot the Shit chat, and they seem like really nice people. I have a gift for them when I meet them. That is cool. I'm sure they would like it. Love, I know. So I got my son's skull pictures back. Would you guys like to see them?
Yes.
Let me mute the camera and I'll get it.
Okay.
He's a good looking boy.
I keep losing the damn chat.
Here she is in a blue daisy jumper and a dress, or the yellow top and shorts about all So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Shoot. What's your question?
One looks like a librarian, and the other looks like she's going like off around town. I like how we gave them two.
Oh, these dog bones stink. From the makers of Canine Carryouts Dog Snacks. Well, where'd your meaty bone go, huh? Courtney, can you turn that down a little bit, please? Mama, please, just a little bit. It's so loud. Neighbors are going to think we're crazy. It's all about bold. Meaty satisfaction. Meaty bone biscuits are the tasty, indulgent, meaty snack that beats dry, ordinary biscuits any day. Cleans teeth with every bite. My dog likes these. Chulada? Long-lasting chew bone? Yeah, right. My dog would just eat that.
What's that?
These chewing bones for dogs. My dog goes through them like they're candy or something.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome, Amanda. Terry, I sometimes go to strange live streams. Can they tell if I'm there if I don't speak? No, they cannot. The only way they could tell if you're there and if you pop up in the participants, if you click on the little 3 dots in the chat, is if you speak and after 5 minutes or so, you time out and you do not show up anymore. So no, they cannot see you at all. They have no clue you're there. That's why we call them lurkers. They like to lurky lurk. Yeah, I lurk in chats all the time, Terry. They never know I'm there. You have to literally participate in chat to see yourself in the list. Like, let's see. How many people do we have in here right now? We have 3 watching. And, you know, it's just us 3. Me, you, Terry, Johnny, and Amanda. That's it.
Now we got 4. Now we got 4.
Well, now we have 4. The 4th person watching,
Whoa.
But they're not in chat. It just shows Johnny. See, I'm not in there. It doesn't show me because I haven't typed in 5 minutes. But if I start typing,
right,
then I show up again. Bam, Dusty.
That says aha. I hear about life and go, and sometimes they turn out to be really weird. Yeah, sometimes You can find some really weird ones. Sometimes you find some cool ones.
I searched live last night. There's like a live, just a page, YouTube channel called Live, and it's everything really. There's like live kitty cats. I was watching this guy take care of this little kitten, and it had like an adoptive, or the mama cat, I guess, adopted the little baby kitten, and it's feeding it. It was really cute. I loved it. And then I found like a 24-hour radio that has like really calming, chill music.
Wow.
And I am going to be
Yeah, I subscribed to a bunch of live channels last night.
Oh, cool.
They have chats and stuff, but I wasn't paying attention because I don't care for it.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to show the boys' picture. Can everybody see it?
I can see it just fine. You got it this time.
I know I took and cut it down some. Ain't he good looking?
That's a good picture.
Yeah,
He doesn't look like he wants to smile, though.
He never does. He never does.
Johnny, can you hear the TV in the background bad?
Not really.
Okay, I'm just making sure because she's got the TV kind of loud.
I mean, she should be cool. We should be cool. Hey, girl 29, honey, how are you?
What's up, Chloe?
what is it like living with princesses? Let's just say it's
Okay, now I can, Dusty.
You can hear it? Okay. Courtney, can you turn the TV down, please? She's listening to it so loud, and she's like right there. I'm like, you gotta turn it down. Hold on a second, I'll do it.
Yeah. All right. Yes, nice. Yeah, he's one of those honorary ones that don't like to smile. I'm really sleepy. Amanda says, I love all good pet. I love you all. Good picture. Good night, sis. Good night, sis. You try to get some rest. Try to get to feeling better. And I hope the boys get to feeling better too. I love you guys. And Dusty saying good night. Trailer Park Mom. Girl 29. I was listening to music and your notification popped in. So I thought I would say hi. You're fine, honey. How are you been doing? You're welcome, sis.
What's
Girl
loud?
29.
Me?
Oh, no. Girl 29 saying hi, Terry. Yes, I hope she does have fun tomorrow. Hopefully she enjoys it. Oh yeah, but as I was telling you, Dusty, I'm going to dress him in a pair of black dress pants.
Mm-hmm.
His black dress shoes, white dress shirt, and then he's got a silk black tie. He's all into that black. Trust me, he loves black. And then a black vest.
Sounds nice.
Yes. And then I'm gonna go get a rose, and I'm gonna pin it on him.
Ooh, yeah.
And hopefully he doesn't give it to no girl.
Chloe says, good. Now I have a question for you, Johnny.
What's that, hon? Go ahead. I always call her girl 29.
Yeah, I say girl 29 in chat, and then when I'm talking, I always say Chloe.
And she knows I'm like Girl 29. How come you never say hi to me? I'm sorry, sweetie.
In other rooms, I see you in chat, say hi to you, and you never respond. Why?
I said hi in Sherry's. Did it not go through? Boy, her chat was popping that night, so I'm hoping it did.
Was it
I'm
like,
sorry.
if it was going by really fast, you might have missed it. I miss stuff all the time.
I couldn't keep up with them tonight. I'm sorry, sweetie. Forgive me. I'll make sure you see me from now on.
Yeah, sometimes when the chats go crazy, it's like hard to keep up.
You know, I could have probably not even put her name. I've always liked Girl 29. Always. No, it didn't. No, honey, I'm not. No, I'm not pissed off at you.
Oh no! What? What would you do?
No. You're so silly.
My goodness.
Girl, I've got much respect for you. I would. No.
No, you've been with us for so long.
Yeah, she's one of our supporters. I love that. Of course, I forgive you. I just deal with issues right now. Oh, okay, sweetie. Like I said, from now on, I'll make sure I'll type in your name and everything instead of just saying hi. I'll make sure you see me, sweetie.
Yeah, like if you're on the computer, make sure you do that @ sign and then her name, so that way it comes in bold for her, so she sees it in case everything gets lost in the crowd.
Right.
That's what I always forget to do that when I'm on the computer. You can't do it on the phone.
And she said I feel better now. LOL. I love you, Girl 29.
I sent Alex the invite again.
That's cool. When she first started coming in here, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna call you Girl 29 if that is cool. She's like, yeah.
It's okay, Chloe. We all have our days.
Yes, we do, sweetie. Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Well, I'm glad you said something instead of keeping it to yourself, because that would just, make you wonder forever.
You stowed that right out of my mouth. If there's ever any time that you have any questions, feel free to ask me, okay?
You can call me anything but late for dinner.
No, I'm gonna call you my little #1 fan.
Okay, let me see.
And oh, Terry, I love little Terry too, man.
Yeah, wait a minute. We have like a good amount of supporters that come in here and.
Yeah, I mean, I love everyone that comes in and supports us. Because this chat is for everyone to come and hang out, enjoy themselves, just have a safe place to come and talk.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, crap.
Yes.
Did I tell you that I found a whiteboard at Walmart for $3.50?
No, that is a good deal.
I know. It was in the clearance section for the school supplies.
Dude, that is a really good deal.
I love whiteboards.
And now, wait, aren't the whiteboards the ones that, like, you can use the dry erase markers on?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I want to get one of those.
And it came with, like, these cute little magnets to, like, hold up pictures or whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it. I was like, ugh.
I believe in dealing with problems.
Immediately,
even with my family. I tell everyone, you have a problem with me, tell me. I feel the same way.
Yep. I'm not little. I'm 5'11". Oh, you're taller than me.
You're just a hair bit taller than me, Terry. I'm jealous, Terry. LOL. I love everyone. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I know sometimes I can come off, being, I'm sorry, I'm just going to be blunt, hateful, but I mean, I have my days just like everybody else. I'm human. But I love everyone. That's the way I was raised. I'm tired of getting on stools to get stuff in my cabinets. Girl 29, I will be more than glad to let you borrow my son that's like almost 6'1" at the age of 16.
Oh yeah, he's pretty tall. How tall are you? Chloe? Well, I know how tall you are.
I was gonna say I'm 5'9".
I'm almost 5'10". Almost.
Wow.
Almost. If on a good day and I stand upright. My sister's really short and I always pat her on the head.
My son likes to come up to me and go, "Hey, Mom, what's up down there?" I'm like, dude,
I'm always
that much taller.
I'm always making short jokes, and she gets so pissed off. She's like, "I know I'm short."
Oh, she's 5'4".
My sister's
hello
about 5'6".
there, Alex.
Oh, there you are, Alex. We can see you. Well, your picture. You can see your picture.
I love his hair.
You have your microphone muted, though. You okay, Courtney? She's got that little lingering cough still.
Girl 29 says, my son does that too. Yes, I think they get an enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I think I irritate my sister with all my short jokes.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? He asked me, my son did, he's like, Mom, where do I get my tallness from? And I said, well, do you want me to really, really be honest? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, unfortunately, we don't D word. We call him the, I'm going to be honest, the sperm donor. He's only 5'2".
Oh my God.
Yes. And I'm like, well, where do you think you take it from now? He said, sure, not him. I'm like, yeah.
I get my tallness from my mom's side of the family. My dad was really short.
But you know what? All my mom's grandkids are all tall.
My brother's tall. He gets it from my mom. Well, maybe his dad too. Because well, not really. His dad's taller than me though. Hi, Alex.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi, sweetie. How are you?
Testing.
You sound muffled, Alex.
Testing.
No, you sound really muffled.
Yeah, Terry. He really takes it after my side of the family. Oh, he wants to dye his hair dusty.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
There you are.
Hi,
You sounded really muffled.
Sorry about that. I had to school somebody. I'm just kidding. I'm so tired. Today was just exhausting. I'm a blob. I'm just a blob.
Oh,
You know what's
what?
you know what's fucking crazy? She opened my door and she's like, "Where are my cigarettes? Where are my cigarettes?" And I'm like, "That's exactly how I was about my controller this morning." But you don't see me going outside and screaming to all the neighbors, going, "Get my mother out of this house. She's asking me for cigarettes. She's an evil person. She called me pig." You don't see me doing that. I told her, and she was like, and she just didn't get it. And so I was like, it's the same exact thing. You walked in my room disrespectfully, and you were asking, and you were saying, "Give it to me right now." And if you don't give it, and she was making threats and all this stuff. And I was like, and you know what? When I woke up this morning, I wasn't even making threats. I was just being quick about it. I was just like, okay, if you don't know where it is, get out of my way. I'm looking. I was turning up the furniture, looking for it. She wanted to blame me. She's like, well, it would be nicer if you said please. And I'm like, in the morning, I don't give a shit about it. I can't eat people's asses out in the morning. I was so mad. Oh my God. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
No, you need to just let her be for now tonight. You've done enough today. You've gone through a
know what
lot
I mean?
today.
I'm just like, yeah, well, things are good. Things have gotten back to somewhat normalcy, but I'm just like, for real, like in the morning, what are you guys like? Are you guys like, you know, from like, you know, do you plie into the fucking shower like a pixie dust and shit? Because I'm not like that in the morning.
I'm not a morning person at all.
Mornings.
No.
Play into the shower, throwing fairy dust. Like, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the world.
Yeah, like, good morning. Welcome to the world. Like, she wanted that. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my gosh. I can't.
I'm grouchy in the morning. I hate the mornings. Like, I get my coffee and I'm good. I love my coffee.
Yeah, and I couldn't even get my coffee because she bolted out the door and she was screaming at our neighbors. She was screaming at not to the neighbors because the neighbors weren't home, but she was screaming in the air. She was saying, "Get him out of my house! Get him out of my house! He's calling me a pig. He's calling me a pig." Like, she was so on a trip. You know what? I'm sure she threw out that fucking thing because she was high on her coffee. My mom by mistake fucked her meds up and was drinking too much coffee, and she did a big stupid today. That's what all I can say by looking at that shit. At the end of the day, she wasted the police's time. She wasted my time. I just don't even. Oh my God, I can't believe that shit.
It's okay.
Thank you. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm talking about it like so, you know, loud and shit, but it's like, I don't know how else to talk about it because I'm so tired, and it's like, I can't, if I want to talk about it, I have to like summon all this thing from inside me.
Well,
I can't explain it.
Alex, can I share something with you, hun?
Sure.
Okay, I did ask Dusty what was going on.
That's okay.
And
shoot, I don't care.
Hold on. She kind of shared with me.
Yeah.
And I did tell her. I do know what you're going through. My child is schizophrenic.
Oh no! So you know the
Yes. Honey.
different people, like the different.
Yes, honey.
people.
Yes.
It's
And
hard.
it is, honey. But you know what? When they do that, you just kind of gotta step back. I know this is hard. Okay, because what they say, they're not really meaning it. Okay, and I know that's hard to, hear them say stuff like that.
No, yeah, I know what you mean, though. Kind of.
All you could do is kind of watch for their safety. But hey, anytime you got me on Facebook, hit me up. I don't mind talking to you.
That's true. I was really just distraught.
And you know, I've got a mother that has dementia, and
It's
she
kind of
goes
what,
through those little
yeah.
stages.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
both
she
of
goes through
the
those.
one.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't mind listening to you rant. You know, maybe I can help you out there, dude.
Anybody can help when you're going through that. It's really just like, it's like, what? Like, I just got up, like, something I said is she's trying to tell the whole neighborhood that I am not sprinkling pixie dust this morning. Like, what the fuck is
Yes.
going on? You know what I mean? Like, I can't.
They say some stuff, trust me, they do.
And my neighbors were like, oh, like this, nobody cared, but we have this one like Russian neighbor, and she really gave me a dirty look, like, you should move out of your house. And I'm like, what the fuck? You probably, like, I was thinking about it, and like, I do a lot of study in the like cultural studies and shit, and the majority of the
Right.
people who are like Russian who live here, they live here like, and their family basically pays for it, and none of them work. So it's like, I hate it when people judge me like that, you know? Like, I hate that shit. Like, I hate it when they do that in public, and these, and not only her, but like this other woman was with her baby, and it was this girl from my high school, and my mom scared her baby. My mom like ran over, like almost was screaming and cussing in the streets, and I was like, calm down. And she ran over to the lady's baby in his direction, and the lady basically ran over to her baby, and my mom just passed them by. And I couldn't say anything to her because I was trying to get my mom, you know, away from the baby. And it was
Right.
scary. Like, I mean, I don't, it was scary because it was like, I know, yeah, she's not going to hurt the baby, but for what she did, like, if I did that, like, the police would be like, you need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, she needs to go to the hospital. Like, she can't do that. And
Right.
and I think it's like, it's kind of like a discipline thing. Like, I wish she I wish she just, like, I think she should be disciplined if she's going to act like that, because then it'll stop the behavior maybe. I don't know.
Right. 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 But I mean, when they're in that kind of state, honestly,
They're
they
different
they're
though, yeah.
they really, their minds does not really tell them, you know, hey, that's wrong. I shouldn't do that. Until later on, once you get them back under control,
Yeah, because
then
I
they're
mean,
like sitting there and they're like, wow, why did I do that? Because they
that's
really don't know why
exactly,
they're doing it.
yeah, that's exactly what happened. She's like,
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, she's not there yet, but she's better than she was. And if things today go like it usually goes, by it,
Right.
you know, in a while she'll be like, oh, why did I do this? And da 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 da, da. And
But
uh, it's gonna suck because
but
now
you know,
she's, I don't know, I can't. Sorry.
I mean, it's going to take her a little bit, you know, for her to actually get it back, you know, like, wow, I did that. I did that. And if she feels like
No,
she
well,
wants to talk,
she's like, something is weird though about it, because the controller. What happened was
uh,
with the controller for my PlayStation, and it's like, it is very weird because my mom wouldn't do that though. That's something my mom wouldn't do. But then when I look back, it's no, no, that's a thing. This is like a new type of thing. Like, no, I can't get myself to even believe that she would throw it out, because it's
right,
such a bit. She's seen me with that controller. She knows how important it is. So it would be like for her to, like, and basically the way it was in the trash. And so I'm like, okay, well, what if it was like, you know, somebody trying to do an experiment or to see how I treat my mom or something.
right,
And I
right,
was like, well, what if somebody came in our house and actually did throw it away and then left and didn't steal, like, it wasn't a thief. It
right.
was somebody just trying to see that. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to trip over the thing, because it is kind of weird. Like, why would she throw that? I still don't get that. I still really do not understand that. So I'm not going around telling people, yeah, my mom threw it out, because
Correct.
maybe I was sleepwalk. I don't sleepwalk though. My mom was awake all night, she says, and she said I wasn't up once. So it's either my mom who did it or someone else came in our home and really tore things up. Really just tore that, like just took the controller and threw it out and wanted to, like, I don't know. And my mom was like, she was like, "Oh, it's the maintenance man. I know he did it." And I don't, it's just really weird. It doesn't make sense. It's the whole thing makes my head hurt. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's weird.
Well, honestly, I've noticed with my son when those spells hit, I'm going to be honest. I, I hope I'm not saying this wrong, okay? It's like their brain just totally forgets, hey, I'm not supposed to do this, and sometimes,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah, but yet in her brain, she says, oh, I didn't do that. Notice that with my child, I really have.
I mean, like I think you probably caught me almost saying there's been things similar. There's things she
Right.
doesn't remember she's done that I know she's done, and so we
Right.
don't know.
And you can't really say, hey, mom, you did this wrong or anything.
Oh no, she refuses. No, yeah, she refuses to
Right.
believe she did it, and she will refuse to believe
In her
she did
mind,
this.
she says, no, that's not me.
Yeah, she will, and even if she's being nice to me, she'll like in this instance, she's gonna say, I'm sorry for everything I did, but I didn't throw it out.
Right.
She'll say that till the end
Right.
of time, and it's sad because it's her disease, I guess. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it's not an easy disease to deal with, but I've got to give it to you, Alex. I give you much respect because most people would say, you know what, I can't deal with this.
That's where I am
Off the
right
way.
now. Like, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, am I wasting my life here? Like, should I just leave?
Honey, but if you stop and think, how much further would she go down? I mean, a lot of people would probably disagree with me.
Really? No. She would be on the streets because of quite a few times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would happen to her if you would just totally walk away?
Yeah, the cost is it isn't worth the it's not worth the personal gain. The net personal gain to me would not be like, I wouldn't have like a nice house or a nice roommate situation for at least a few years. It wouldn't be right off the bat. And so, yeah, I totally get it. It's like,
I mean,
it would take a while.
Right.
And we're setting up, we are setting things up for when that time comes. But yeah.
But that's good. That is good. I mean, like I said, hey, you got me on Facebook. Hit me up anytime, dude.
Thank
and
you.
I'll listen to you rant. And if there's some pointers that I can give you, hey, I'd be more than glad to.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just really tired today.
No.
And I'm sorry if I don't sound.
Sorry at all, dude. That's what I want my group to do, is come together and be a support group. Be there for one another. Yeah, we can have fun, but I mean, if
I'm gonna get some coffee too. Sorry, I'm listening.
You're fine, but I mean, if one of our people in our group are having problems, hey, if we can help them, that's what I'd like to do.
Hell yeah! Hey,
I want some coffee now. Why'd you say that?
What? Well, here, listen to this. I've done all this today without a drop of caffeine, and I am a coffee drinker, so I'm I'm literally like, oh my God, I'm going to fall asleep. So I will be right back. Okay?
All right.
You go
Go
get your coffee, dude. I'm sorry, everyone in the chat. I just felt that was something that I needed to share with him.
Yeah, he had a really rough day, and I talked to him all day long when it was going on.
I don't want him to think that he has to go through this by himself.
Oh no, he's definitely not alone. He knows he's not alone.
I mean, like I said, I know how he feels. When my 16-year-old goes through those spells, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how my grandpa was.
But, all you could do is be there, love them, and just watch them and make sure that they don't do nothing that's going to endanger themselves or others.
When I was younger, my grandpa would start going through his spells, and my mom always said, watch out for grandpa. If he starts spitting on the wall, that's how you know he's not okay. And I was like, what? Right. I didn't understand. I didn't really get it. But then it started to kick in, and I was like, because I would see him act, his like behavior would change, And sure enough, he starts spitting on the wall one day, and the next thing you know, he's chasing me outside with a pot of coffee. Yep. And he don't remember doing it. He didn't remember. And then I was like, and you see, I wasn't scared of him. My grandpa didn't scare me. I just knew he wasn't right at that time. And yeah, like he just didn't remember doing it. And like when he would get angry, he would like grind his teeth and clench his fist all crazy and be like, like that, and then walk away. Like he never tried to hurt me or anything like that. It was just
right. I don't think when they get in that state, I don't think that they are wanting to hurt you, wanting to get their point through.
Yeah, I was being a little brat though. That's why he was angry with me. I like pissed him off royally.
Mm-hmm.
Pissed him off, but I didn't understand. I didn't get it. And then as the older I got, the more I understood, and I could tell when he's starting to feel. I could see it in his face. His face will change. His eyes change. The face morphs. It looks different when you're going through some type of psychotic episode, whatever the case may be, schizophrenic, bipolar, whatever. Okay, your face changes, and I saw my grandpa's face change, and I'll be like, "Hey, Mom. Grandpa out of his lithium, like where's his medicine, because he starts getting dingy."
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I can tell if I'm trying to teach my kid, because he wants to get out of my house as soon as he graduates.
Chloe, he was manic depressant and with schizophrenic tendencies.
Justin has.
And it happened to him at a very young age. He was showing signs and symptoms of mental illness. It's just back in the olden days, they would say, oh, that's just Johnny. That's just how, your grandpa is, whatever, or how he is. And
I think back in the olden days, I don't think they really knew how to actually pinpoint and word what.
Oh, no. They just thought they were possessed half the time.
Right.
So then he went to the Air Force, and that's when it got worse. And then they discharged him because they experimented on him with like LSD or some crap like that. And then it made him more cuckoo. And then they discharged him. And then he went a little more cuckoo after my mom was born, and it didn't help that my grandma, his wife at the time, was also cuckoo. I come from a long line of mental illness. Yay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do. It's serious.
I'm from it, too.
I'll be right there, you guys.
It's cool.
You take your time, hon.
I don't think he can hear us because he got his headset on. Back in them olden days, and give you a lobotomy.
Yeah. Actually, back in the olden days, all they wanted to do is like lock them up, throw them in the room, and
put them in water, do like shock treatments. Like, it was terrible.
Terrible. And once you're deemed crazy, your family freaking disowns you and you're stuck in a mental ward till you died.
Exactly. You know, that's one thing I've refused to do to my mother nor my child.
Yeah, hell no.
I mean, I know my health is not the best, but I feel that that is my job to get them through their problems.
Right. My dad was depressed. He suffered from severe depression. My mom was bipolar, manic, schizophrenic tendencies also. And then, of course, me, I'm bipolar level 2, number 2, whatever the fuck that means. Excuse my language. And I have a lot of other issues that I don't even want to talk about right now.
They didn't know what. They didn't know what
They
to
knew
do
at
at
the
the. Yeah, that's true.
They didn't, and they would experiment on them, basically. They're like guinea pigs.
Exactly. They were pushing this down on them. They were doing this, and I mean, things have really changed, though.
Yeah, they have. Like, medication works, therapy works. We're not doing lobotomies anymore. We're not doing shock treatment. Well, actually, I don't know if they do shock treatment still. They might. I don't know.
I don't know, and if it ever came to that point, I don't know if I'd allow them to do it.
Sometimes you have to make that decision. You know, I've been to a mental ward. I would not wish that on anybody. No, because you think you're crazy. You really do. And then you go to one of those places and you realize, well, shit, your problems aren't even that freaking terrible compared to what you're seeing.
Oh, girl, I am not lying on this. Oh, my goodness, I'm not. I ran away from home, and they locked me up in one of those. And what they did was they had the youth side, then they had the elderly side, and oh my goodness, I felt so sorry. Half of the time I thought, my goodness, I shouldn't even be in here. But in that process, I found out that I was diagnosed with depression.
Yeah. Oh, the one that I was in, I wasn't even supposed to be there. Like the hospital lied to me and put me in this stupid place where it was so okay. I can tell that the patients there were not treated properly, in my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion, but from what I viewed, you know, like the rooms were dirty, the ground was dirty. The guy I was standing next to, you can tell defecated on himself.
Right.
It was just awful. Hold on a second.
Girl 29. My mom and my son live with me. My mom will be 91 soon. Mom and I take care of Dad at home till the end. I do not want to put anyone in a nursing home. I heard horrible stories. Yes, I have, honey. Matter of fact, I worked in a nursing home. No lie, I was a person that would pass like ice water, help feed them, and that broke my heart.
Yeah, nursing homes can be absolutely horrifying. Like, the stories exactly.
That job did not last very long. I mean,
the one that my great grandma was in my small home, my hometown, and it was not a bad nursing home. But she would tell us that they were trying to kill her sometimes, and I was young. Thinking back on it, they might have.
Right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I had this one little lady. I will not mention her name, but you know, I don't have a problem with talking about it. You know what I mean? She was the most sweetest lady. Her husband had passed, and she used to always walk with me, and she'd say, up there, and I was like, up where? And she'd point up in the air vent, and I'd say, yeah, what's up there? And she'd say, they're up there watching us. And I said, no, honey, they're not watching us. And then she'd say, yes, they are. And I said, well, maybe they're just making sure we're on our toes. And she said, no. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, Terry, I understand that. Sometimes, you got to do what you got to do, but you got to do research too, I'm not saying every single nursing home is a terrible place. No, definitely not. But some of them are just, it's the people. It's the humans that's taking care of the other humans.
Right.
They're just disgusting, despicable, evil people. Not everyone, though. I know a lot of dedicated nurses and,
Oh, yeah, I knew a lot of nurses that were devoted, but yet you have so many people in there, it's hard to keep up with it.
Yeah. And it's a hard job. It's really hard. Like my sister was a CNA, and she just couldn't do it anymore. She couldn't. It just broke her heart. She just couldn't handle it. It was just too much.
Right. That's what happened to me.
I remember the nursing home my great grandma was in. Sometimes it would smell like pee, right? And I would, I'm a child, so I was like, Grandpa, it smells like pee in here. And he's like, shut up. But I was like thinking back on it now as an adult, later on, I'd be like, why did it smell so much like pee? It shouldn't smell like that in there, And but my grandma's room was always clean. The nurses were always polite. She always had all her belongings and stuff. I think the reason why she thought they were trying to kill her was because they kept trying to give her blood pressure medicine.
Right.
And she kept hiding it in her Mrs. Dash.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
right.
A crazy old woman. Not crazy. She was just interesting.
Honestly, I miss working at the nursing home because there was a lot of them that I got really close to.
Thanks for stopping in, Chloe.
Thank you, Chloe. Oh, I'm sorry, girl 29.
I want some coffee.
I love you, girl. Come back in.
Get some rest.
Yes, get some rest.
I have Lady Gaga paparazzi stuck in my head.
Oh, wow.
I know, that's so random. I wonder what Violet's doing.
Hard telling.
She called me earlier, and it's so funny. She called me earlier, and then like the next thing I know, she didn't say, okay, I gotta go, I'll call you back or anything. It's just she went on into the store, and I think she forgot I was on the phone, and I could hear everything, and I was like, hello.
That's
she
funny.
left me there, and then she randomly hung up on me like 15 minutes later. I was like literally on the phone waiting for her to be like, oh crap, I forgot about you.
That is funny.
Dang it. Oh my goodness. Tom Petty's on. Oh God. Oh my God.
I seen the Instagram that he did.
He's in. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me do something to Alex real fast. There we go. I don't think he wants his like business out there right now, so I muted him.
There you go.
That way.
Yeah. Something's got to be private. Yes. I hope I didn't say nothing wrong, but I want him to know that he's not doing this alone. People that experience this.
Wow, they opened up the new park in my hometown, and it looks so nice. They were building it while I was there 5 months ago, and I was excited about it because like this is like a big, nice park in the middle of the town, and Arvin is very tiny, so it's like pretty, Wow. Cool. I hope Alex realizes he's muted when he comes back. Alex, if you're back, you're muted. Just so you know, you're muted. Mute yourself. Oh, wow. That is so cool. This chick got signatures from the creator of the show Twin Peaks and one of the stars. She got it, and then she went and got them tattooed on her after she got the signatures. I think that's a really cool idea.
Awesome.
Alex, are you back yet? I can't unmute him. He has to unmute himself.
Hold on.
You know, it's amazing how much these microphones pick up around, because like I'll be listening to our playbacks and I can hear like every tiny little thing.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess you're right.
Yeah, he has to unmute himself. I think, like, I thought we can control like everything. I guess not. Or you have more control than I do.
Right. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out right now.
Do.
No,
You're
I
up to
think
140 subscribers.
wow, I'm doing good. No,
Hail to
we're
the
doing
man.
good.
My channel's so dead. I don't even know how many subscribers I have.
No, girl, I've told you this is not just my channel. This is all of ours.
How do I even look at this? My channel. Oh, they changed everything. What the heck am I looking at?
Yeah, and it's very fun to figure out.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Interesting. God is right.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta run to the little girl's room.
Okay. It's all silent. Oh my goodness. Alex, are you back yet? If you are, you're muted. Put your no pork pork. No pork pork. Oh, she's gonna bark anyway. I think everything has changed on Facebook. It looks different. YouTube looks different. Oh crap, where'd Alex go? He disappeared.
Hopefully he'll come back.
Now I have to go to the little girl's room. BRB.
Alrighty. So Terry, how are you recovering from all the storms that you had, honey? It's okay, but it's still windy when it rains. Well, like I said in the past, I'm glad, everything went okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Alrighty.
Dead silent. What do you want from me, dog?
Thank you.
So who's all in there?
Everyone. Nina Davina said hello.
Yeah, Terry. Hey, everybody has something similar in their family line, or they suffer themselves, or they could relate because they have friends, family, cousins, whatever. Cousins, that is family. My aunt says I should be a psychologist. And I told her all the best psychiatrists are crazy. And she was like, well, I'm not crazy. My great aunt studied psychology. And she's like, well, I'm not crazy. And I was like, well, I didn't mean like to be offensive. Like, I'm just saying.
But if you notice when you say something like that to one of your family members, they're all like, "Oh, I don't know where that came from. Oh, I don't know where that came from."
Oh wow. Alex is sending me messages
Yeah.
now.
Oh wow. Tell him he's more than welcome to come on back in.
Oh, he's having difficulties at the moment.
Oh, okay. Understandable. Hopefully your medicine kicks in and she'll go right to sleep.
Terry, I respect you, Dusty, because you're not afraid to put it out there. No, I'm not. Well, you know, normally, like on Facebook, if you saw that giant post I posted the other morning, I normally don't talk about it on there because there's a lot of negative Nancys who like to like cling to my tits, I swear to God. And I don't like that. And I'm just like, I don't like speaking about it. Like I talk to my close friends and family, but I was like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to let every single person know what I am going through and how I feel because it's important. I'm not, you know, there's other people out there who suffer silently and never say anything.
Right. I agree.
You know, and how do I know that one of my close friends or even just Facebook friend isn't going through the, you know, something similar either with themselves or with a loved one or another friend, you know?
True.
You just never know. Now, what I don't like is when people try to glorify mental illness and they try to make it like a fashion accessory. I hate that. It's not, oh my God, I'm so bipolar today. Like, no, shut up. Or, oh my God, I have anxiety because I, you know, they're just saying it to say it. I can't stand that shit. It's like, I don't honestly wish any of this on anybody. I really, truly don't. Well, maybe if I hate them. Yeah, I wish it on them.
You notice I'm being a good girl on that one, Dusty. Because you and me both have spoken on that already. Not going against you, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Terry, I saw that, but you were so articulate. You know what's really funny is like normally I get jumbled up in my own emotions and my words, and if things get, you know, topsy-turvy and when I try to, you know, type them out, but I just let it out. I just said what I needed to say, and I left a lot out. There's a lot more I could have said. My hand got tired.
It happens.
And right now I'm calm. Like I've been taking Celexa, and this is day 4, and I've taken it before, and it works. It really works, except it gets worst stomach aches ever. And it makes me dizzy until my body gets used to it. And there's like, you know, mild side effects there. Who gives a shit about? But like, I just want like some of these, you know, horrible feelings to subside. And I was on it for agoraphobia and anxiety. And it works. It really does work. And, but my doctor switched me to Zoloft. And I think it was because I bitched too much, thinking like, I don't know what was going through my mind, but I felt like this Alexa wasn't working as good as it could have.
Hello.
I'm here. Hi.
Sorry about that. I pulled a Tyra. I was yelling. You think about what you did about that stain. I was so because she noticed it and she felt really bad about it. I went in the kitchen to make the coffee. And she was sitting there eating, and she was like, she was muttering at me. She was like, I don't give a shit. Like, she was really being mean. And I was just like, oh, okay. And so she went in her room, and she's like, well, I'm tired, and you did it. And I'm like, oh, well, you wanted us to be roommates, right, Mom? Well, you left all this food out there. And then that's when I got kind of upset because I noticed there was this giant meat stain from spit from my mom. And I was like, you need to clean that up if you wanted us to be roommates. And I said, oh, and you all, and did you see this? And she looked at it, and her face, she went from crazy back to normal. I swear to God, when she saw the stain from the spit, because she knew it was the meat, because she was eating this ground beef tacos, and I didn't eat any. She knows I hadn't eaten, and she was right there. And when she was eating it, she was like, she was barking at me when I went to make the coffee, and so she knew it was like the spit from her, and I think she realized how fucking out of it she was. But I kind of exploded on her. I took a sip of the coffee, and I was like, you do not. She tried to start apologizing too, and I was like, you don't get to apologize. You never get to once you've hurt somebody, you don't get to apologize. I want you to lay in bed and think about what you did. You don't get to take it back. You live with it. I mean, you guys probably heard me because I was yelling so loud, but I was really upset because she spit a huge thing of meat juice on me, and I wanted to get her attention while she was, aware and not in her schizophrenic mindset. And it was like, she totally got it. Like, I wasn't trying to embarrass her. I was trying to just tell her, like, you think about what you did today, Mom.
Right. Sometimes you gotta treat them just like you would do a little kid.
Like a kid. I wasn't trying to be like, fuck you, go to hell. It wasn't like that. It was like, when the police came this morning, they were like, the guy was like, listen, I have a wife, and sometimes I yell at her, and sometimes I say things I don't mean. And I'm surprised he didn't say sometimes we yell at each other and we say things we don't mean. He admitted it to me. So he was basically saying, like, this situation is bullshit, and I agree with you. Your mom's acting crazy, but we can't do anything. And then the second police officer, he's like, just don't say anything, let her calm down. Once she calms down, then deal with it then. And that's what I'm doing. I'm treating her like, basically, she spit. She was so obsessed. She gets so angry when she eats. I don't know, it's something weird. Whenever she eats, it's like her soul goes away, and she's obsessed with eating, and she rips the food apart. It's a really bizarre thing my mother does, but because of what happened today, she was like, tomorrow I'm calling the when I went out there to make my coffee, she's like, tomorrow I'm calling this person. I'm like, if you do that, you'll make things She was being so rude out there. But when she saw the meat juice that she had spit on my shirt, her face literally melted from the crazy schizophrenic face to the, like, my normal mom face. And I could tell she was really embarrassed and sad, because she was the one who was saying, you need to be polite, you need to be this. And that huge meat stain was on my shirt from her mouth. And I was like, look at this. Look at this. You think about that. You lay in bed and you think I forgot exactly what I said, but basically she was like, she got it. Like, I saw it in her eyes. Like, she was like, oh my God, I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. And I was like, okay, thank God she saw it. Cause I don't want her to think she's I can tell if I go too far with things, but like, and if I go too far with things, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. If you want to call anybody, if you want to go to a hotel, like, because there have been times when, like, I'm trying to think one time, like, okay, when, I think she broke something of mine, and I got so mad, and she was really sad, and she was like crying about it afterwards. And I'm like, well, whatever. And I'm like, you can stay at a hotel if you want. I'll buy the hotel for you. And I let her stay at a hotel.
Right.
because I was so mean. I was like, why did you do this? Why did you break that? And she was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Because in a way, she was like acting like a kid. But this case was different.
Right.
This case was like, she told me to be all polite, and then there was all that meat juice on my shirt from her spitting at me. And when she saw it, she realized that it was like she finally saw how animalistic she was. I was like, look at this. I mean, I can show you it right now. It's like just a few drops, but to her they were huge because I don't know, like they weren't that big, but when she saw it, it was like she realized, oh my God, I don't know what it was. I can't even. But when I saw her eyes change back to herself, I was like, I got really upset all of a sudden because I was like, I know I can. This is my chance, and I was like, because and then she saw her, and then she realized she was turning back to normal. So she was like, I'm sorry, trying to take control of the situation. I'm like, no, you don't get to take control. You don't get to apologize.
Right.
I'm like, you did this. I'm like, you need to, I pulled the Tyra Banks on her. What was it Tyra Banks said? You live with this. When you're in your bed, you look at the ceiling and you remember this. That's what I said. I fucking can't believe she didn't remember where I was from.
I was rooting for you.
I should have said that. I should. No, I'm kidding. But for real.
Yeah. Like,
no, sometimes you really got to stand up and take that stand. Because when they get like that, sometimes their mind goes way back.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think she realized that she really fucked up, and that's what I saw in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, she saw that, like, okay, wait a minute. Oh my God. Wait a minute. There's meat juice on his shirt. That means oh my God, it's true what he said. And then it was like, this is my chance. And then she tried to apologize, but I was like, nope, I don't want to hear it. I didn't say you don't get to apologize. I said like, no, you don't apologize because it's been done before. I said something like that. I probably, maybe I did say don't apologize. I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant, like, I wanted her to realize, no, you can't fix it. It's done. Look what you've done. I want you to think about it. I want you to look at this and remember it. It's not okay. Like, it's not okay.
Right.
And I wasn't like, oh, you're stupid and da-da-da-da-da, because that's not, that's terrible. But
right.
I was using a really loud volume because I wanted her to see, like, look, you legitimately were so, you had so much hate for me in your body at that second that you were spitting your meal on my shirt. And I think she was like, okay, she was, and then she snapped out of it real quick and was like back to her normal self. And that's why I had to get in at that time. And that's why I felt bad. Like, oh my God, they heard me. And so I signed off, and I thought about it. And I'm like, no, I did what I had to do, because if I didn't assert my what I feel is my human importance as a human being, it would not, and I had to, and some emotions came out. So my volume went up. I wish if I could keep my volume constant, if I could never raise my voice, I would definitely go into, like, what would I go into? I would go into some sort of business. I don't know. It's hard not to keep your voice from going up when you get upset.
I'm back.
When you get emotional. Isn't it hard to keep your voice from going up when you get emotional? Like, even when you're happy.
For me, I'm loud all the time. I just have a really loud voice. It's natural. But when I'm pissed off, I don't yell. I get this, like, very stern voice.
see, that's me. I get this stern voice to let them know, hey, this is not okay.
For me, it's like, people always said, oh, like when my voice changed, I had a really high pitched voice. Not really high pitched, but I had a normal kid voice.
Right.
When my voice changed, everyone was like, your voice is so deep. When I went into high school, it was so terrible. This weird teachers were, all these teachers would say, oh, your voice is so deep. And it was annoying because it was like, and so I guess because of that, I yell when I get angry because I say, if I make my voice any deeper, it'll be like, oh my God. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't go any deeper than this. This is my normal range.
I can make my voice pretty deep for a chick.
If I get stern with people, I get really calm and I fold my hands and I'm just like, remember when you did, actually my voice goes up. It goes up and I'm like, remember when you did that?
Right.
Like, it's kind of, I shouldn't do that. I should be more just polite and just, be real with them. Because I don't know. That's petty. It's petty to be like playful when you're really trying to be what's the word, to give like revenge or whatever. It's they say that revenge is best served cold, and I think it's like petty for me to be all like happy about giving revenge to people. So I need to just learn how to keep my cool.
You're not alone on that. I do that myself, dude. So don't feel bad.
And I mean, it's not about revenge, but not revenge, but exacting your, both police who came, both groups of police. There were two groups. The first group that came, the guy took me aside. He said, "Look, it's okay to get in arguments. Everyone gets in arguments, and it's okay to yell. It's okay to, the only thing that we can get involved with is if there's bruises. That's it."
Oh, wow.
And the second, yeah, and that's how they are here in California. They don't care if you're yelling at all. As long as you're not like following people around, if you're just yelling, they don't give a shit. People love it. Like, and then the second group of cops, he's like, I'm like, okay, well, the reason I was scared was because my mom usually lies about, she has a history of lying about domestic violence, like serious shit. She'll tell cops like, he hits me, and then finally when they bring me out and they're like, we're gonna take him to jail. This one time, that didn't happen. What happened was, she told the social worker that I had hit her, and I started sobbing, and I was like, that's not true. And I was crying and crying and crying. And finally she was like, she wouldn't talk because I was sobbing so much. And I was so sad.
Right.
And again, I couldn't believe she said that. And the lady said, do you and I said, I'm not going to be part of this meeting if she's going to lie. Can we just go to court right now? Because I said she doesn't realize how bad it is to lie about domestic violence. And the counselor like looked at my mother and was like, did he really do that? And my mom went, well, and my mom literally acted so juvenile that the counselor like twisted her body facing my mom and was like, you can spend the rest of your life in prison for lying about any violence. Like, she really yelled at my mom. I remember that. But my mom still does it. So I got so scared today that when the second group of police came, I said, how do you guys, because I was just talking, I was like, what I always get afraid of is she's going to lie about domestic violence. If you guys look it up in the computer, you guys probably can see that she's said it before, because she has. And usually she says, oh, he hit me, he'll hit my arms. I don't know, like she'll go, oh, he grabbed me by my arm. Because, yeah, a lot of times she didn't take her meds. And I'm like, Mom, you need to take your meds. Come here, I will drag you by the arm. Like literally. Not like, and I'm literally like, not like dragging her like while she's on like being dragged, but like I'm like, Mom, don't do this. And I'm holding her by the arm. And then the police come because she obviously didn't listen to me, and she went outside and she did something, and someone called the police, and she's like, yeah, that's where he was holding me. And I told the police, and the police were like, they were like, well, did he hit you? And she's like, yeah, look what he did to my arm. And I told, and the police are like, well, did he hit you? And she did the same thing. She's like, well, and then the police get really mad when she did that. And they were like, what happened with your arm, Mary? And she said, well, I was really angry, and he was holding me by that and saying if I went down the street without my pants on, I would get in. And they were just like, because this was one time when she didn't have any pants on. She just had her robe on, and she was naked underneath, and she was running down this was a long time ago. And I was holding her by the arm, and I was like, if you go out there, you will go to jail. And so the police were like, so he held you by the arm because he didn't want you to go outside naked. Do you know that that's illegal? And like, it's stupid. And so I always get scared that she's gonna make up something. And so or make something like, if I tap, like one time she told them, oh, he hit me on the shoulder. And so they examined her shoulder, and I'm like, yeah, I tapped her on the shoulder, like tap tap with 2 fingers. And she literally told them that I was hitting her. I hit her on the shoulder. Like, when she's crazy, she'll do whatever she can to get her way. But then the police kind of like dissect it, and they're like, no, he didn't hit you because. And so, but anyways, I talked to them today, and he's like, okay, you need to just stop worrying about that, because unless someone's fucking bleeding out the ass, and if they're bleeding, the more that they're saying, look at this, and if they're holding it and they're bringing attention to it, and they're kind of like emphasizing their own wounds, they're trained to kind of discount it for each time they say, well, look at my wounds, look at my wounds. But if the person is like bleeding all over and they're not saying a thing, that's when it's real violence.
Exactly.
Right.
Because that's, I mean, in my experience, I don't know, like from what I've seen in my experience from songs, what I've seen my friends go through in abusive relationships, they never say shit for like years.
Yep, they keep it to themselves because they're afraid.
Right.
Like
right.
real abuse is something very different than like, I think the police, the law is, you can't put your hands on somebody, but what the law should say is it should be really specific, but it would have to be a huge law, so they don't want to make a huge law. But it should really say like, unless if somebody's sanity is at risk, you can restrain them for their own safety. That's the thing. If you're a parent, you're allowed to restrain a child for their own safety, even if it's like how do you describe it? Like if it's hurting them, but it's not bruising them, obviously. You can restrain a child. Like if they're kicking and screaming, you can hold them back from, because what if they run out into the street? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of one of those
it's
laws.
Just for their own protection and safety, right?
And that's the thing, like, I always worry about whenever I'm like, oh my God, the police are going to be, so I always start crying whenever the police are there. And so he's like, from now on, whenever this happens, don't be worried about looking like, because I told him, I said, I get worried that if I don't show any emotion, that I'll look like callous and like I don't care about my mom. And they're like, and he said, well, when we come here, we can see your mother's record of calls that have, and what the nature is. And basically, because we know that it's multiple times, we already know that it's like a psych thing and this and this and this. So it's like, we'd understand by now. I mean, she's left the house 14 times in a in a haze of mind. We understand if you're used to it by now, so you don't have to like worry about having to show enough emotion and this and that. And but it's really scary for me because I overthink a lot of stuff. Because there was one time um when my neighbors actually held me back and let my mom leave in the car, and she had a butcher knife with her, and my neighbors didn't know. And so I never forgave those neighbors, and it was really sad because they were nice people, but they didn't realize that like this was something they should have kept their ass out of, you know. It was sucked.
Right.
I don't blame them. It's something I don't think about, but yeah, after that, they were like, I actually, they were nice at first, but they were like, two of them were ex-military. So I realized how they were kind of petty because, I don't know how to describe this. Something had happened with my mother, and because I wasn't doing anything at the time, the wife was like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna find her hanging up in the closet." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, come in anyways. I want you to see." And I'm like, "See, she's not in my closet." And then the wife realized how stupid what she had said was, and I was like, and I realized how, and I kept feeling how rude that was. Like, how dare you call me a serial killer, you fucking bitch? Like, and so I was just like, yeah, she's not here. And then she kind of realized, like, wow, the mom is crazy. And then after that, more and more stuff happened with my mom. And then one time the cops came and actually had to restrain my mother and take her away. And every time this happened, they would talk to me less and less because they felt it was a net no-win situation. They just wanted to protect whoever was in danger. They thought it was my mom at first, and it was actually me. And so in the process, not only did they let my mom go with a butcher knife, but I ended up getting like insulted by the wife, and they moved. And it was stupid though. Like I don't know, some people don't make the right choices. I don't know, they don't. I think that like nowadays though, like where we live, it's kind of changed. Like this, where we live, it's like more people kind of mind their own business and stuff. But I don't know. I worry a lot about what my neighbors think, and it's hard not to care. You know what I mean? Because I'm scared, like, oh, I'll get kicked out. So, I mean, I have a social worker who works. So I guess I wasn't the only one though, because now we have a social worker who works here where we live and helps everybody. And there's a lot of issues here, like, but she keeps it together. She really keeps it together. And because she talks with everybody and like has sessions with the people, and we talk with her, and she does art therapy and all sorts of really cool stuff. They've been able to really improve the value of the property in a way. It's really hard to describe how good it is to have like a counselor somewhere.
Right.
So I don't know, but yeah, that's the one thing that does suck, because my mom tries to make a show and she tries to say, oh, he did this and this, and I have to worry about my neighbors. But then when I think about it, I'm like, am I worried about my neighbors, or am I worried about myself losing my house? And I'm like, I'm just worried about losing the house. And so then I just talk to the counselor, and I'm like, this happened, this happened, this happened. And yeah, I mean, that's a thing. And the police, that's why the police, I think, didn't take her away today, is because this is becoming so common in California. The mental health system here is really bad. I mean, for the amount of people that live here, they literally need to have like they should have probably 5 times as many mental health centers as they have. But they just don't. So basically, the state is bringing in social workers in from every state. California right now, if you're a social worker, you can start off at 35. You can make up to 100,000 a year as a social worker. In other states, you'll be lucky to make 35. Because nobody else wants to deal with the drama. And you always hear about these Hollywood, you know how when you look on YouTube and there's all these like people in Hollywood and they're talking about like their family drama or crazy people drama. There's people who have to deal with that.
Right.
I don't know. It's just there's a lot of it in California. I think it's the weather. I think it's the hot weather that makes people crazy. I really do.
Could be.
I
could
agree with
be.
that, Alex. Hot weather does make people crazy.
Because look at look at the countries in like where it snows a lot. They're all calm. But look at the countries in the hot areas and the deserts. Like they're all in war.
Oh, my son can, well, my mom too. They both can flip because of the change of the weather. Oh my goodness.
Oh, do they have seasonal
Yes.
effect?
Yes.
What's that like?
Oh, honestly, hell.
Do you know what a
It
light?
is.
Do you know what a light box
It
is? They have these like they're these type of lights that you can get, and it's like supposed to be the same type of light. Basically, they're like a desk lamp, and what the manufacturer says is to sit in front of it for 15 minutes a day. But instead of that, it's better to just use it as a general study lamp. And what
Right.
it does is it has the same wavelength as the sun, and so it lets you soak up. It lets you metabolize vitamin D. Does your son take vitamin D? Like the little pills?
No, he gets it with his vitamins. Yeah.
No, you need if you get the winter stuff, the winter blues, take
Uh-huh.
those vitamin D pills. They really work. They work for me even.
Now that's something I haven't tried on him yet. So.
Because vitamin D is what the sun like puts in your body. It like vitamin D is it's hard to describe. Like, do you know what I'm talking about, Dusty? Vitamin D?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You got to replenish your vitamin D when you're not getting enough sun, otherwise you just get depressed.
Right.
The amount in a vitamin, it's enough if you go out in the sun for at least 15 minutes a day. However, if you have that disorder, you need to take a lot of vitamin D because those people are the type of people that in the Stone Age would naturally be the type that did really well outdoors. But because they don't, it's kind of like I have a one of my counselors. I've had a ton of counselors. It's so funny. I'm like this counselor. One of them, he was saying people with anxiety, if we were living, 4,000 years ago, we would probably be best working as guards at a city because we can see shit happening a million miles away at the, castle walls. And think about it. It's true. Like, people who have anxiety, they're always looking for something bad to happen before it happens. And because of that, they do tend to take care of things before they becomes a problem. And so, yeah, I totally believe that. Like, there's a reason for certain people to have anxiety because there had to be certain people who look outside the tribe of cavemen or cavewomen and was, watching out for bandits while the other people were busy doing their jobs. So I don't think that anxiety and even depression, I think that, like, if people didn't have depression at times, I think there wouldn't be, like, artists. And I as much as I shouldn't say this, even schizophrenia and all that, I think that there's a function for it. I think it makes sure that our society isn't, like, become like a George Orwell perfect society. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like they
I
help
agree.
keep us human. And that's an important, very, very important and underrated thing. And that's why I'm upset that there's not mental health in California. I'm very upset about that. You have to pay for it out of pocket.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine how much a doctor's bill is? 15 minutes is $150.
What?
Oh, trust.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's the same at the hospital. Consultation with a doctor at an emergency room is $150 for every 15 minutes. Most hospitals, it's exactly that much. That's what your
True.
insurance whittles down. When you go to the hospital, if you ask for the list of, they have a huge list. Every like smaller hospitals, even bigger hospitals. I used to work in medical records, but there's a really good video on it, and this guy's having a baby and he's talking about it. There's a huge list that has the price of every single procedure the hospital does. That's why nowadays, when you go in, they put a barcode on your wrist or on a bracelet, and they scan it every time they give you a medication. They scan it every time they bring in an IV bag, because what they're doing is they're ringing up those drugs for your bill. I thought it was like to protect the like drugs or something. I was so wrong. It's to
Oh my
bill
God,
you.
Alex, now that you're saying that, like, yeah, they like scan your arm bag every freaking, like your arm bracelet every time, and then they scan the medication with it too.
Yeah, the reason they do that is so that because they have to, because they have, like, let's say a patient. The reason they do that is because if they order, you know, such and such from the pharmacy for the patient, they need to make sure that's on your bill. So by scanning your armband, it depends how new the hospital is. Some hospitals still do paper records, if you can believe that, but it's phased out of most places. But anyway, on that list, meeting with a doctor for 15 minutes is 100. I think it's more like 120, and 30 minutes is like 300, or no, not 300. It's 200 for 30 minutes. Doctor's time is a lot of fucking money. Because when you're talking with them, they could spend that time doing diagnostic and instructing people and doing things that are much more like, I don't know how to describe it, but that's why it's so much. Because doctors listen when doctors talk to you, they're kind of picking out the words you're talking about, like the symptoms, and they're building an idea of your treatment plan. Working as a hospital doctor is not easy. Then the charge nurse or your nurse or whatever, they really implement the treatment plan. They put the rest of the puzzle pieces together. Basically, it's crazy how much doctors. It's crazy how much money.
I went to
all the
a
way to
private
the
doctor,
bank.
a private practice, and they charged me like it was about $40 at every doctor's visit afterwards, but the first visit was $80, and they could do that because it was a private practice.
Out here, the medicine I take, basically, a lot of doctors have bad pasts and they don't want to risk prescribing certain things. So the doctors with good pasts, they charge a lot more because they've never gotten in trouble, so they don't have to worry. Plus, they know how to prescribe things. They can tell if a patient is becoming addicted, and they'll cut them off real fast. So basically, this doctor I see, he has a bunch of. I mean, this guy, it's ridiculous. You go into his office, and he displays all these like. He's a fucking like diplomat, first in class summa cum laude, like first in class for so many things. So basically they do all that and then they charge you a bunch of money. But when you're in private practice, if you're just taking like a normal medicine, it's usually you can find a private practice that doesn't charge that much. But if you have a really weird condition, or if the medicine you're taking is kind of like, what's the word? If it's like narcotic, or if it's, you know, you have to pay more. And the doctor I see, he's the type who's like, well, if I'm feeling really bad, he's like, okay, well, you need something for panic. He's like, and I don't give a shit what the DEA says. I'm gonna prescribe what I'm gonna prescribe. But if you abuse it, I won't ever give you it again. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And I've seen him.
Okay, look, the doctor that I was seeing, she prescribed me Xanax and Zoloft and Celexa and all that shit, and never charged me extra. But they know. They're not stupid. People who are coming in just for pills like Xanax and Klonopin, they know, you know. And as long as you're coming in and you're legit and you're normal, and you know they whatever. She was so helpful. I was like really sad when that practice went away, because like it was, you know, the doctor decided, oh, I don't want to do this no more, and she went off to like be a nurse's aide for like, or a doctor or nurse's aide for elderly people actually, and she was like so super cool, like, and her son suffered from the same things. And so she knew all the signs and symptoms, and she was like very willing to help me. And there was never like charging me extra for anything. And my prescriptions were actually pretty damn low, because, you know, you can get generics.
Yeah, like that's a thing like I worry about, because my doctor's getting older. He's my mom's age, so he'll be around for a few more years. But when he retires, I'm going to have to find a new doctor. And I'm like, fuck. Luckily, he keeps records, so I will be able to pull the record of my psych treatment from him. And I've been treated with this medication since I was 16. So I've been on it a long time. The only thing he wants me to do is he wants me to take less. I take 3 milligrams of a substance that looks better if I only take 2 milligrams of a day. And so I've really been trying to cut it down. It's hard when your mom's crazy, so he usually gives me the benefit of the doubt. But now that I'm getting to be 30 and stuff, he encourages me. He's like, you know, he doesn't say, oh, you got to do this, you got it. He's not like that. He's like, well, try this, you know, try going to this, try going to this. And some stuff works. And I was able to give him an entire prescription because I never had to even fill it. And he was like, you're doing really good, you know, like you're doing, he didn't say he just said, I'm glad that you found something that is helpful instead of meds. But he wasn't like, oh, good, you're not an addict, and because the whole thing is like, you know, in our society, people who don't fit, they can either go on welfare and Medi-Cal and not do shit and take money and feel like shit, or they can be prescribed something that works and actually contribute. And that's his belief. And I believe in that as well. I think it's stupid to say, oh, well, these drugs are mildly addictive, because that's the truth. Ativan and Klonopin, they're mildly addictive to some, and they're super addictive to others. Every drug that's physically addictive, it has there's a different amount of addiction depending on what type of a person. Some people love the feeling of like being stress-free so much that they're just bound to get addicted to Xanax. Other people like me, I only want to take it when I feel like my chest is caving in.
Right, and I was prescribed Xanax just for panic attacks.
Just for the panic.
But at night, my doctor started having me take it when I go to sleep at night. Courtney, don't slam the door.
She okay? That sounded like... Weird.
No, she's fine. My door just swings because it had some WD-40 not that long ago and it slams easy.
Oh, it's like it's been fixed up. I love WD-40. That shit'll fix up any. You can fix the world with WD-40. Oh my god, I love that stuff. It's like the best. Like, it's the best chemical in the can that fixes almost everything. I swear you could clean with that shit somehow if there was a way. Probably mix
No,
it.
I've never tried to clean with WD-40. I like the smell of it though.
I do too. We're weirdos. Like I'm glad we're lucky we're not like huffing paint somewhere. I've never done that.
Oh my god, can you imagine like huffing WD-40? What the hell?
I mean, I've never. That's the thing. Like I remember in middle school that was like a big deal. Like people were doing it, I guess. I've never done that. I've never sniffed glue. I've never huffed anything. However, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm a better person than anyone who's done it. Because some people try stuff because they're young and they don't know better. But from what I've heard, the high is really just like really disorienting and it's basically killing your brain cells.
Yeah, no, thank you. The smell, like, WD-40 smells good, but I don't want to huff it, and I can't stand the smell of certain like chemicals because it's very toxic smelling. Like it smells like
like death,
which I have like this strange phobia of. I don't like it.
I mean, yeah, it's like Pine Sol and WD-40 smell good, but you don't want to breathe that shit.
Yeah, no, thank you. I have this phobia of toxic sludge and runoff water, and it's just it makes me cringe.
Yeah, I don't know, like people who were like doing like, have you seen those pictures on like the internet of those people who are taken into the sheriffs for like huffing paint and they have paint on their mouth?
No, that's something I could not do.
I don't think I could do that. I just don't. I think those people are really like, there's something already complete, like they're into self-injury.
Right.
Because that's
now
like,
some of,
sorry.
in my opinion, I think some of them does it for like attention or to block out something that has happened to them in the past.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it. I mean, I could be wrong,
but that makes the most sense because those drugs, what they're supposed, the inhalants are supposed to completely and like they destroy your brain. They're supposed to completely incapacitate you. So somebody and they're not supposed to make you feel good. They're not supposed to give you an operating high. They're supposed to literally make you incapacitated. So anybody who would do those drugs, either reality is too much for them or something is constantly bothering them from like their past. And
right. I mean, that's kind of what I thought, but you know, I'm almost too scared, you know, to people that are doing that. I'm almost scared to say, you know, hey, wait, there's other ways around this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, for people, there's not a lot who do that. That's a very rare, like, that's like the rarest of. That's like the rarest of rare.
Right. To me, I think that's cut down some, but I mean, I could be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll be right back. I just have to get some. Hold on, really quick.
Dusty, I think we are actually having a pretty good chat tonight, and hopefully, what we're talking about may help somebody.
Yes, I agree, Johnny. That's why I was just telling my friend Violet that, you know, these types of subjects, somebody could be listening and going like, wow, I relate to this, you know, except for the huffing. Don't huff paint, kids. Okay.
No, that's something I am not saying that that's okay to do. You know, if they feel that they're to that point, how do I say this? I may be pronouncing this word wrong, so correct me if I say it wrong, please, Dusty. My recommendation would be, please get help.
This is gonna take a while.
Yeah, like there's always somebody out there who's willing to listen. There's hotlines. There's even texting lines that you can, like, you know, numbers you can text and talk to if you're too scared to talk to someone on the phone. Like, there's a lot out there
Right.
these days.
Oh my god.
I mean, to me, that just because you reach out for help does not mean that they're actually going to lock you up. They just could be going to give you numbers or someone to get in contact with.
That's really bad.
But please, if there's someone out there that are going through this, as Dusty said, please don't be afraid to step out and get help.
Thank God.
A lot of people suffer alone and they just don't realize that they're not alone. You know, there's a lot out there.
I agree with you.
Right. Sorry about that. Oh my god, I got scared. I was like, oh my god, she threw out my pills now.
Oh no.
Could you imagine, like, if my medication was in the trash? If I looked, I would die. I would be like, okay, we gotta have like separate, like, you know what I would do? I would make one of those machines where, like, it sorts the size of what you're throwing away and they go in different compartments. So I would know, like, no, I'm just kidding.
Wait, I have a question for you, Alex. Have you ever thought about just like putting your stuff that you don't want her to get a hold of, like, in a safe spot? That way you only know where it is?
Well, the things that she had been good. Like, she had not taken anything for a long time. The last time she left was about 6 months ago or more. And no, more than that. It was more than half a year ago. And I remember when it happened, and it was really sad. My mom left, and I had drug dealers calling me, and finally finally the homeless people somehow helped me find my mother. Like, the homeless people from the streets of LA, they were all calling me, and they're like, oh, your mother used this phone, and then I'd call the other number, and they'd be like, oh no, your mom's not here. But like, I got to know all these homeless people, and they were like, your mother's just running around. And I'm like, what the fuck? Her feet are fucked up. And basically, then I got the police involved, and I said, my mother has a missing persons report, and the police and the homeless and the police didn't want to go. And so I'm like, I'm sure she's there. Then I called them again. They said, we sent someone out. She's not there. But then another homeless person called me, and they said, oh, well, she's right here, and we're holding her for you. I'm like, how are you holding her? And I bet they were just like,
Right.
I bet they were like, they gave her a cigarette or something. And basically the police officer and somehow, you know how big LA is? Somehow LA is fucking huge. It's a fucking 50-mile long city. Like, somehow we pinpointed where she was. She was in the worst. She was on Skid Row, And
Oh, wow.
the police took her into the hospital, and she's like, and she was back to normal completely. And they're like, well, we can't return her to San Diego. The bill will be 5,000. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, because we have to bring her in an ambulance. And I'm like, no, you don't. You can transport her here in any type of car. Like, just have the hospital bill it to a driver. And they're like, no, we can't do that because we serve LA County and only Orange County. And so I'm like, oh my God. So basically they were like, all we can do is we can hold her. We can bill you guys like we would be billed, not Medi-Cal. So we would have a bill like for $6,000 just to get my mom in a car. And I live in San Diego. And I said, no. Yeah, so I told my neighbor, and my neighbor's brother, my neighbors were having a wedding in their family, and it was terrible. One of them said, she said, no, I have to go to the wedding. And I knew they had to. That's terrible to cancel someone's wedding. So I said, you know, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But finally, the brother of the girl who was going to the wedding said, well, I'm not going to the wedding. I'll do it, but I told him, okay. He said, well, he said he'd do it after I said, I'll pay anyone who can do it. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. But I offered a lot of money. I offered him $300, include like, so gas itself was a lot to go to LA. Right. And he drove the truck up there. He has this really nice truck, but he had a really nice truck the day we went, like, because he works with cars. So he made sure we had a nice car to go in. And so most of the money, 150, went to gas almost, to get there and back. And we got to the hospital, and my mom is just like, oh, hi. Yeah. Like nothing mattered. And I was just like, this is serious. And at that moment, when we got back, it was like hospital after hospital, doctor after doctor, and everything was okay. And then that's when I started carrying my mother's money. That's when I started carrying her ID cards. That's when I started carrying her keys. She gave it all up. And I was like, thank God she's doing it willingly, because if I had to do this in court, she would be gone again. But now, and then finally, slowly, she got her privileges back. Right. Okay, you can drink coffee again. Like, but not good coffee, just like instant. And I have to hold it. And slowly she got her privilege back. And that was the mistake was letting her start drinking coffee, I think. In an uncontrolled manner. I don't, but because I know how those medicines feel, they feel really rotten, and a cup of coffee won't make you manic. One cup won't. But if you're, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but my mistake was not to mediate the coffee. But then I also got lazy and stopped watching her take her meds. And so a few days ago, my mom said, oh yeah, I haven't taken my meds all last week. And I'm like, what? And I was like, okay, take your meds right now. And she said, no, I'll take them tonight. So that night I saw her take her meds. But you know what happens when your blood levels go down? It fucks everything up. So basically that's what happened today. Today it was like, you have to it takes like 4 days for it to build up and like kind of be normal, I guess. That's why it's a 32-hour hold or a 72-hour hold, because it takes 3 days for a person to usually, for psych meds to, start working. 3 days.
Right.
For them to be like at their peak, what do they call that? Peak blood level. And especially with lithium, those meds, they have to check your plasma level, because not only can it can destroy your blood cells, so they have to take your blood test and make sure your blood isn't reacting to the medication. Lithium is very poisonous. But also there's a level, and the level for all those meds, the mood stabilizers, you have to take just enough so that it's like toxic, so it's almost toxic. If you don't take enough so that it's almost toxic, they don't do anything. And then if it's almost toxic, then they work perfectly. That's why mood stabilizers are so difficult, because people's bodies change. Their the amount, like their, what is it called? Your metabolism changes if you exercise a lot. Your level, your lithium drops in your system, and so they're not going to work.
I'll be right back, guys. I have a phone call.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah. So, like, yeah, you have to get your meds to be at the right level.
I agree.
And so her meds weren't at the right level, and I think that, yeah, my mom probably did throw it out. I think she did throw out the controller, not out of malice, not out of anything mean, not even out of wanting to throw the controller out. Just out of like how you said, you know, someone related that has schizophrenia and they just can't remember it.
Right. I mean, like I said, my son, he's got schizophrenia, and
do you know what type it is? Because don't they have like, with my mom, what she has is, when she gets mania, it's scary. It's like paranoid schizophrenia that she has. That's what she has, paranoid schizophrenia.
I mean, I'll be honest, when my son's schizophrenia kicks in, you really have to watch him.
Does he have does he have visual hallucination?
Oh yes.
Oh,
He'll
really?
tell you that.
Does?
Yeah. He'll tell you that there's people at the door, there's people knocking.
Has he ever said? Has he ever talked about angels or anything like?
Weird? Oh yeah. He's been doing that ever since he was. I'm gonna be dead honest. I noticed something was wrong with him when he was about 5 years old, and believe it or not, I have shared this before. We were in a car wreck, and
oh my god,
that's when yes, and that's when I noticed that all these problems were coming into place, because he would be sitting on his bed and he'd be playing, and I'd wake up and I'd say, "Who are you talking to?" And I kid you not, I swear to you, he said, "That man."
oh,
and I'm like,
god.
"That man? What are you talking about? You know, come on, tell me." And he says, that man. And I said, "Well, there's nobody in the house but you and me." And he said, "Yes, there's a man here." And believe it or not, I had pulled out pictures, and the man that he pointed out was my deceased grandfather. And he was exactly 2 years old when my grandpa died.
Oh.
And I'm like, there's no way you can remember him.
You know what? That's really interesting. I've noticed the same things with my mom. Whenever the weather kind of changes, or the moon is kind of weird, like if the moon is full, she tends to definitely have like a weird like thing going on. And it was funny because I never knew about this, but one time my mom was acting weird, and I text messaged my neighbor, and my neighbor was like, "Oh, that's weird. Maybe there's a full moon." Like, she was just kidding, but I was like, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's why they said they used to call people lunatics, because luna means moon, and they thought that the moon had
Right.
something to do with it." And I've met a lot of people who have, maybe I don't know if it's full blown psychotic, but it's more like they have borderline schizophrenia.
Right.
That's what they said my mom had when I was younger. The doctors would always say, your mother has a thing called borderline schizophrenia. And that's because my mom never has hallucinations. She never sees anything. Yeah. She never hears anything. But she did talk to herself. And the way she talked to herself was like she was just cursing. She was very angry. And so they always said, your mother's diagnosis is borderline schizophrenia with bipolar, and, you know.
Yep. Now, see, I've told everybody I'm not ashamed of my child.
Why would you be? No, yeah.
No, I'm. When I always talk about him, I always want that.
If anything, you should be somewhat proud that your child isn't just another cog in the machine. I hate to say it so bluntly, but
no, I agree with you. You know, like I said, I'm not ashamed. My child is ADHD, bipolar, schizophrenic. So, I mean, it's a double whammy.
It's like the hard part is finding what they're good at. Once you find what they're good at and what they're into, though, they do better than everyone else who's like in it. That's the thing about mental illness. Yeah, it's true.
Now, if you can get him to sit down and draw, believe it or not, some of his drawings are pretty good, but then some of them you're looking at them like, okay, why did you draw that?
What do you mean?
I mean, he'd just be like drawing like people with knives and things
so
like
it's
that.
Kind of, yeah, like kind of like why did you think of that? Kind of.
Right, and the first thing I say is, okay, what made you do that?
Yeah.
And he'll say, I don't know. Wait, I don't want to hear that because I know you know.
That's what whenever my mom says, like, whenever she does stuff like that, I'm always just, it makes me mad. And I just don't say anything whenever she's like, I'm like, why did you do that? And she's like, I don't know. If she gets mad. Sorry.
I think they say that. I think they say, I don't know, because
whatever it is really so like either they don't think it's a big deal, like it's like something. I think yeah, like maybe it's like something like for us where someone's like, okay, let's start drawing, and like you just draw like a person, and you're like, well, why did you do that? And you're like, well, because I'm bored. You know what I mean? It's like simple.
Right.
And maybe it's as simple as that with them. It's like they just were like, that's just it. There's no deeper meaning, but there is kind of one, but you have to kind of fish for it. I don't know.
That is the hardest thing to do, you know?
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing. That really is. You have
Sitting there trying to piece everything together.
It can be like, it can take multiple days, too.
True.
That's amazing. I really did not know that about is it your son?
Yes, it is my son.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's so funny that you recognize that, because like Yeah, it's the same thing with me because when my mom had me, like, there's a lot of holes in my mom's like story, and on my birth certificate, where my father, it said refuse to state because there's no designation as the mother does not know. I
Right.
don't believe they have one like that. So usually they either say refuse to state or they'll put down um I think usually they put down refuse to state because it's the nicest way that it's because if they say the mother doesn't know, it's like they can be sued because they're
Right.
saying like that the mother is like stupid or something, and it's like how could you not know I don't know. People get too I think once a baby's born, people should be happy there's a child in the world. They shouldn't focus on the focusing on family and dynasty is something that is very old time. And when I say old time, I mean that only mattered when people were so stupid that they literally believed that people inherited their family's mental capacity to rule, you know?
Right. Right.
which began to be debunked in the like 1600s, but yet monarchies continued until now. I mean, the last dukes are finally passing away in England. But anyway, well, but what was I talking about? What was I talking about? I was saying how what was I talking about? Help me out here.
We were talking about, how they don't really understand why they do this stuff.
Oh, and it's like you have to piece it together from multiple days. Yeah,
Right.
and so that's what they put down on my birth certificate. And sometimes when I'm talking with my mom, she'll remember certain parts and she'll tell me. And so I remember it forever, obviously. Um, and it's like from what I've put together, it's a really odd like situation that she was in when she got back from she was living in overseas playing in an orchestra. She had a
Right.
complete psychotic break, and she told me that there was a she told me that one night she woke up and there was like a floating like Chinese ghost in her room. And I'm like, okay, that was
Right.
probably when that was when it started. And she told me like that it like screamed at her, and I'm like, but then again, people talk about ghosts and are completely sane. So I got, and that's the only auditory or visual like seeing things she's ever had in her life.
Right.
But then when she moved to LA, she had no way of play. She couldn't play she was in an orchestra and she couldn't play the instrument anymore. She played the oboe. She couldn't play the oboe. It's like the clarinet, but it's a little bit more refined.
Right.
It's a single reeded instrument or a double reed. I don't know what it is. It's double reed. But she couldn't play it anymore because her voice was like wavering. And to play any wind instrument, you need to have a smooth breathing pattern, and she just couldn't do it because of the stress. And she was acting really weird. She was painting her face with a really wrong color foundation, really white, and she was just doing her makeup really crazy. She looked nuts. And so basically she wasn't in contact with my grandparents, and she was doing crazy stuff like, and then they took my grandparents took her in. They said come back home, so she moved to Chicago, and my grandparents said they knew something was off. They said she was, and so that filled in more. And then
Right.
and then there's stuff I didn't know until very recently. Like there's certain people she would tell me about in the neighborhood randomly, and then she'd forget about them forever. And I mean, when I'm talking, I mean, it would be like I'd be talking one night and she'd say, "Oh yeah, did you know where I live? I lived in this. This was my address." Out of nowhere in the last, I'm 28, so in the last 28 years, out of nowhere, she remembered the exact address she was living at in overseas before she
wow.
moved to the United States. And to do that when you have schizophrenia is really difficult because it's like it's like she completely buried it. And I looked at the area like now and I was like, holy shit. Like she wasn't doing bad for herself at the time. It was a high rise in Hong Kong. She lived on like the 17th floor and had a view of the entire, like she was doing very well for herself. There were a lot of white people in Hong Kong up until it gave back its, because Hong Kong was owned by the British until 1993 or 1999. Around then, they gave back their sovereign state to the Mandarin Chinese, and the instant it was given back to China, there was a huge, all the white people left. Not all of them, a large amount did.
Wow.
But yeah, she remembered it, and so she remembers stuff from her life. It's just at random points. So I know what you mean about having to piece it together, and it's like you get bits and pieces. You
Right.
never get a full story, bits and pieces. And
they basically tell you what they want to tell you, and then it's up to you to piece it together.
Yeah, that's true. Because when I was like pressing her for more information, she was like, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep." You know, it was one of those things.
Yep.
The medication, though, thank God the medication's there, because without the medication, she might have hurt somebody by now and been in jail.
Right. I totally agree.
I'm here, you guys. I'm just listening and watching the chat.
You go for it.
My friend Violet called, so I had to take this phone call. She's still on the phone. I'm here.
Oh, you're fine, hon. You are fine. But yeah, I mean, one thing, Alex, I do want to tell you, yes, it's stressful, but don't ever give up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about giving up. Before I was talking to you guys, I was looking up and I was like, should I just completely just drop it and just move? And I don't want to do that because my mom would be homeless.
And
that's honestly, not right. I could never live with myself doing that to my mom.
No.
You know what I mean?
That would be something that would hang over your head.
Hang over my head.
I walked away.
God. Yeah, no.
And would she have done this if I was there? Yes, it does get very frustrating. You're getting yelled at. You're getting all the anger put towards you.
Yeah.
But
at times.
Right. But on their good days, they're the most sweetest people. They're the most sweetest people that you could be around.
I think what really pisses me off are I've lost a lot of friends, and they're like, they're like, look at him. He has to leave. Why won't he leave his mother's house? Why won't he leave? They treat me like like they won't tell me that's why they don't want to hang out with me. They always come up with reasons, but I know deep down they think, oh, he has some problem. He can't get a job. He's not mature enough. And they're like, and I've told them multiple times, I'm like, do you know the situation with my mom? And they're like, yeah, but they're like, you need to get out of there. And I'm like, you really have never lived with somebody with mental illness that's very close to you. And I have this one good friend, and our friendship ended kind of because her brother has Asperger's, but it's very or not Asperger's, but autism, but it's very borderline. So it's like not even, it's like so borderline autism that it's not even autism. It's kind of like how I am, but a little more. It's like his personality is like mine, but without, he's very quiet, doesn't get excited by the same things as he's a straight guy, and he moved to Japan, and he found happiness there, and he found a woman, and they had a baby, and it's cute, and they just had the baby. But growing up with him, Christine would tell me all the crazy shit, but I can't, this one girl, and I'm like, yeah, her name's Christine, but I'm like, what makes me mad is she would always say, you have to get out of there, you have to get out of there. And when it's with her parents are wealthy, not very wealthy, but her father is a historian. His last name is Arguello. So all the land in California that has the name Arguello on it, they have family history with the Spaniards coming over. So basically he's not heir to any fortune, but he's heir to a long line of very wealthy type of living. So the way his family was set up, he set up his family for his daughter Christine, and Christine's brother. It was a beautiful home on the side of a hill overlooking a valley here in San Diego. It's a beautiful house, and it actually caught on fire, but they had such good insurance that they were able to build a house twice as big. And basically, she lives in a castle on a hill overlooking, a beautiful, and that's how I look at it. I'm like, if in the Middle Ages, that's how you would look at it.
Right.
I just don't get it, because she grew up with him being so weird. Like, she told me, like, when they saw Titanic or something, he was suicidal for like weeks after, and I'm like, damn, that's when you can't deal with emotion. That's very autistic. Like, autism is very like exactly like that.
Right.
You feel like you want to kill yourself because you don't understand emotion. And I remember when I saw Titanic, I was a young kid, but that even made me feel really like sad and just weird. I like the part when the sex part made me feel so bizarre.
Right. I've not really told too many people about this, but what really got me really, how could I say this, where something went off in my head to say, hey, something's not right. Because my son, right after the wreck, he went to school and he was in PE. And all of a sudden, he just like wanted to be left, just him. So they thought, okay, he needed time, and they watched him. He grabbed a jump rope and tied it around his neck. And he told his teacher, he said, I'm done. And the teacher goes, what are you doing? He said, all I do is pull this rope. And the sad thing was, I never let him watch anything like that. So that
What
was
did
like,
he say? He said, all I do is what?
no, he said, it is done. He's done. Meaning he was ready to commit suicide.
How old
And
was
I
he?
asked him, he was exactly 6 years old.
So he was like everything was scaring him so much that he understood what like dying would be, and he was thinking, oh, if I break my neck I'll die, kind of thing. He pieced it together.
Right. The teacher asked him, says, where did you learn this? He said, I'm not dumb.
Well, yeah,
And
I
the
think
teacher-
every kid, but at that age, I don't know. I think kids think of other things because a non.
Right. And the sad thing was, he told the teacher, he said, well, once I do this, he said, I won't feel nothing. And I thought,
Are
what?
you kidding me? At
No.
that age? Because
Yes,
that's
at that
very
age.
like it's mature in a way that's kind of like shockingly mature. Like,
Right.
oh my god.
That's what the psychiatrist said. Because I take him to a psychiatrist every 3 months. But thank God he has gotten over that part. But he just gets so mad, and
What are his
He just-
triggers? What makes him mad?
oh yeah, like, I mean, last year in school, some kid started picking on him, and I found a letter in his backpack, and it said, I'm fat, I want to die. And I'm like, whoa.
Whoa,
What's
yeah.
up with this?
No, yeah.
You know,
Well, the thing is that the medications really make you fat.
right. And see, that's what I tell him, because he's on Depakote, he's on
Oh, yeah,
Adderall,
Wait, he's on Adderall as well?
Yes, he's on Adderall.
However, if he's on, does he on any Risperdal or any type of antipsychotic like Haldol? Let me think.
He's
Zyprexa.
on. Let me see. He's on Adderall. He's on Depakote. He's on Topamax.
Topamax. Okay.
Oh my God.
Don't worry about it. I've been on more at once than that. What else is he on?
I mean, the poor boy. He's on a list of medication.
I know, but I'm just telling you I'm interested. Like, don't worry, I'm not saying this because I would ever tell anyone. The reason I want to know is because my major for college, before I wanted to do before I didn't know what I wanted to do, I wanted to do pharmacology and become a pharmacist at one point.
That's cool.
And I know what all the psych meds do, and I know all their names. So I'm like, not all of them, but the newer ones, Depakote, Topamax, like the ones you said, Trazodone, but Trazodone's an antidepressant.
Yep.
What are some others? Lyrica, that's for like restless legs though. Lyrica is very weird. Lyrica is pregabalin. But anyways,
I mean, but like I said, I catch him when he's like in one of his bad moods. I could see it, and I'm like, whoa. Come on, we need to talk.
What is? Does he have PRN? Is the Adderall PRN?
Yes. It's actually it's the extended release.
Yeah. Okay. They really do have. I've seen those extended release ones. Those ones are fucking. They are extended release.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when he's on that, it's like a whole different child.
Stimulants, it's weird. Like, a lot of doctors have done a lot of studies on what stimulants do, what they do in schizophrenic patients, specifically nicotine. For some reason, nicotine seems to help people with schizophrenia.
See, I was getting ready to say that. Yes, I've noticed that.
And that's at a lot of hospitals, they're because they don't let them smoke. The instant they put a nicotine patch on them because they know it helps. At a shitty hospital, they'll put a shitty nicotine patch on them. At a good hospital, they use the name brand ones because they fucking work.
Right.
Although the problem with the nicotine patch is that you really need a strong amount of nicotine, but that's in either a vaporizer or a cigarette. But yeah, like when my mom smokes, she acts very normal because it's like it makes the side effects from the medication, the negative ones, go away, but the positive ones stay. Like the positive effects of the medication are still there, but the negative ones go away. So if you're schizophrenic, chances are smoking helps. And it's not because you're addicted to it. Your addiction to it, or basically, your addiction to it is twofold. It's the natural addiction, which everyone gets, but also it's the addiction that only schizophrenic people get to stimulants, because stimulants kind of allow their brains to work better.
Now, see, my son, he doesn't smoke, but if you give him the caffeine, like the coffee,
even caffeine.
Yes, it's like it just like mellows him, and it's like, what?
Same thing with my mom. A little bit of coffee, I don't have any problem with, but a lot, and she becomes fit. It's like an overdose.
Right.
It's like an overdose of caffeine, and she became. It just makes the medicine not work at all.
Right, I agree.
So we're doing. So what we've decided on is we didn't come up with this out of nowhere. She used to take double the amount of what she's taking now for Risperdal, and so and she was doing good. That's what she was put on after they found out she was leaving, walking away. Walking out of the house.
See, my son does that, and it's like, you cannot do that, dude. You cannot do that.
Just leave without telling anybody and letting them know, like, I'll be back at this. Yeah, it's terrible. Scary.
Right, and see, I've even bought him a cell phone, and I'm like, dude, you cannot just walk out of that house with your cell phone and just say, oh, it's my mom, I'm not answering.
That's terrible. My mom did the same thing. She wouldn't answer. She wasn't answering it. When anybody called, she was just turning it, and then she'd turn it off, and then she'd leave. And it was like, it took a lot of people to get her to understand that you can. She tried to do it today even. She would have done it if the police didn't stop her and get her back at home. The police were like, they really kind of helped her. And the first team helped. They prevented her from going out to the mall in this crazy, you know, my son is crazy, da, 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 da. And I told them, I said, you know, look, I just want her to take her meds. That's all. And they didn't even want her to take her meds. That's the thing that sucks. They gave her water, and they said, will you calm down and take your meds if we'll let you go if you do that? And she's like, okay. And they gave her the water, and they were like, okay, good, we don't have to do it. And then she walked back, and but she was so mean. She's like, do I have to even walk next to my son? She didn't even call me my son. She called him. She's like, do I even have to walk next to him? Because the person in her, there's some, I mean, even when I was a little kid, there were times when she was so mad at me, she would be like, eat shit, you fucking faggot. And I was like, such a little kid that I barely remember it, but I was like, it was terrifying. And whenever it would happen, I would get really sad, and I would call my grandparents, and my grandparents would come pick me up immediately, and they would usually they would talk to her, and if things weren't going well, they would call her psychiatrist, and they would get her in the hospital for a couple days. And usually she was either not taking her meds right, or, you know.
Right. But, I mean, here we go back to the changes. You know, they don't handle changes whatsoever. Once you get them into a pattern, you got to stay on that pattern.
You do. Like, I feel so stupid that I wasn't watching her you know, when I said, I feel bad. I'm going to tell you guys the truth, though. When I said my mother was, when I said I was watching her take her dose, I got to a point where I was comfortable a few weeks ago, or further back than that, because I saw her taking her dose every night.
Right.
But then, like, a few days ago, and I ask her every day, I'm like, do you take your meds when? She tells me when. And then I started getting naive and forgetting that, oh, well, she'll lie about it because that's easy for her to lie. I forgot that she would lie sometimes when she's not on her meds.
Right.
That's the thing that I fucking was stupid about. I forgot. I'm like, once someone's off their meds, they will lie about it.
Right, right.
And she was lying, it turned out, I think, a lot of the time in the past month. And because I remember specifically what these tips were, but besides that, things were doing good. But this past week, she told me, when I said, have you taken your meds? She told me. But what I wanted to say was, I felt bad for lying about saying that I saw her taking it all the time, because eventually I started trusting her and I let her do it on her own again when before she had left, and I said, okay, I have to see you dose every time. It's because you almost don't want to, like, give up part of your time to watch somebody swallow a pill, because it seems so menial, but just doing that, it's so important. It is so, like, because then you rule out, you can rule out, then the only explanation left is that they're either, which is the rare case, they need a med adjustment, but it does happen, but it's rare, especially at, 60. Usually their meds are pretty figured out. However, it does happen. Sometimes they need stronger stuff, or not stronger, but a higher dose. I don't know. I feel bad about saying that, oh, I wasn't looking under her tongue. I made that up because I was so embarrassed that I wasn't actually checking to see if she was taking her meds.
Right.
Well, I was like, I was just being
There-
lazy and forgetting about it.
Right, but there is one thing that you do got to remember, Alex. You cannot blame yourself
Yeah, because
for what's going on.
I'm not a caretaker.
I mean,
I'm a caregiver.
right.
I am not a caregiver. I do take care of my mom, but I am not a caregiver. I am not a what's the word? I don't have power of attorney and all that stuff, because here especially in California, when they ask if you're a caregiver, if you don't have power of attorney, you're not a caregiver. It's very
right. Well, see, I was just gonna ask you if you were power of attorney, because
yeah.
see, and
do you
my
have
mom's
power of attorney?
I have power of attorney of my mother, yes. And the only way that I got that, believe it or not, is she got in one of her moods. Well, of course, my mother is diagnosed with dementia. Okay. And before all this happened, I let her have her medicine. Well, then she got really goofy, and I said, Mom, did you take your medicine? And she said, yeah. And I went in there and I said, Mother, you just totally overdone it. And I said, I'm going to call 911. She goes, I'm not going.
Well, what? But what happened? Like, explain more details, because I'm kind of confused.
Well, see, I had to end up having her locked up. And then
okay, but what before that? What happened?
Well, like I said, she was normal, and then all of a sudden she just like took the change on me, and she overdid her medicine.
She took you mean she took too much at one time?
Yes. And
oh my God,
I had to end up taking her. Well, luckily it wasn't like a big dose, but I mean it was enough to send her in cuckoo land, if you know what I mean. And I took her to the ER, and she told him, she goes, she's not my daughter. And I'm like, in tears.
Yeah.
And they locked her up. And her doctor actually told her, says, do you love your daughter? And she goes, yeah. She said, well, why'd you do that? And she goes, I don't know. I
know exactly what you're talking about.
I sat down with her and I had the paper and I said, Mom. She goes, what? And I go, sign this paper for me, please.
Oh.
What is it? And I said, oh, it's just so I can help you.
Yeah, that's...
I felt bad that I lied to her. But then guess what? In the long run, I knew that it was for her own good. You know, it was actually for her own good. Because I have 2 other siblings that are older. And they're like, well, we don't know what to do. Throw in her nursing home. And I said, no, why don't we throw you in a nursing home? You know, I don't want to do that. I want that to be the very last option that I have.
Okay. What's up? Or, sorry. Johnny.
Dusty, what?
Can you hear me, Johnny?
Yes, Dusty, what's up?
Okay, I sent a link in the chat
Uh-huh.
I sent a link in the chat to the guy who came in. He's live right now. So if you go in and say hi and be like, you know, just showing love or whatever,
Uh-huh.
they'll all subscribe to us. So if you just go in real fast and say what's up or hi or whatever, they'll go in and sub.
Hold on, let me mute this in case.
Hello?
I'm here.
Hello?
Sorry. I had my computer muted like an idiot. And I was like, why can't I hear them?
Oh my god.
You sound tired, Alex. Why don't you try to get some sleep?
Oh, I'm actually just relaxed. When I'm relaxed, well, not when I'm relaxed, but once I've been through a lot of stuff, this is how I like to. Don't worry, I can snap out of
Chill
it.
out.
It'll make myself more coffee.
You want me to
I think-
take you?
Or coffee. Oh, remember when?
Coffee.
Do you have any?
Have coffee. I never run out. I'll freak out if I run out.
Yeah, my mom will kill herself. Apparently, I've
Okay,
had to so many.
That dramatic.
That isn't that fucking nuts? Like I've had, and I get angry, and I'm like, "You're gonna kill yourself over coffee." She's like, she's screaming, "I'll kill my," and I'm like, "Okay, you fine, we'll get it."
Because it's her comfort. That's why.
Yeah,
Like,
and so I don't have the heart to take her coffee completely. But what I did was I took the grounds and I'm hiding them. And she's like, I thought she was saying, "Oh, I thought I can't have coffee," and I said, "Well, on Super, from now on, if you want coffee, you have to wake me up. So I'm gonna be getting her coffee."
yeah, I only
I'm
drink like 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day. I'm not like some coffee like super freak or something.
She loves it, and it's not good for her though. But then again, the summer is like.
Although, like, if I don't, you know, sometimes I like to drink decaf just because I like the smell and the taste of coffee. It's not necessarily for like the caffeine. I just lack the smell and the taste.
I'm the same way. I can drink. Usually, I have decaf if I'm dealing with anxiety and I just want to relax in the winter. Especially in the winter, I get a decaf pumpkin. What is it called? Pumpkin or a
Nice.
Oh my gosh, girl. It sounded like a car. Girl. That is so fucking stupid.
Oh my god.
Girl. Or like the West Hollywood guys. Oh honey. Honey. Oh honey.
Oh my god.
Honey. Oh.
What the fuck is going on right now? What the fuck are we doing?
This is what happens when we talk. We're just two peas in the pod. I had this friend when I was in kindergarten, and the mother was a Texas like beauty queen, and she was, what would you call her? She was from a really well-to-do family in Texas, but they raised her very properly. And I remember just how funny the way she talked was. She had a huge teased red hair. She dressed like she was from what was that show, Dynasty? She wore these beautiful Chanel jackets, and her nails were always done. And this was in the 90s before acrylics were out, but this was in 90. 94 or 93 because I was very young. I was a very young kid. And then I was my best friend and his parents. And then one day I was at his house and literally he's like, my dad's going to be on TV. Let's go downstairs. I'm like, what? And literally his father was on television being interviewed for an investment because his dad was an investment something. I remember the mom was so nice and she was so pretty. Her name was Sandy, I think. But yeah, they were both he was like an investment type of, I think it was banking or something, but they flew him out to or he flew, I don't know how it works when you're hosted on TV, but they had him as a guest on a debate show on one of those older one of those channels that where they talk about they bring in a guest and it's like financial, what's that show? I don't know.
I have no idea. Like, I have no clue. But she sounds like my probation officer in, was it probation? Yeah. No, when you don't go to school. What is that called? When you don't go to school and they put you on, like, is it probation, Violet?
No, it's when you don't go to school, it's truancy office. Truancy.
Yeah, it sounds like my truancy officer. This lady was legit fucking like big hair, purple, or no, not purple, blue eyeshadow, big eyelashes, mom jeans.
Huh. That's like Texas, right? In a nutshell.
I don't know. This lady was crazy. She was rude and mean and straight to the point.
Oh, well, never mind, because I don't know, like, what I don't like about people in California is everyone in LA gets so much attention on MySpace, and it's like, if you know Jeffree Star and you fuck with all those people, so many people end up knowing who you are.
Jeffree Star, oh my goodness. He lives in Calabasas, doesn't he?
Calabasas is a suburb, yeah. You know what's weird about Calabasas though is that Calabasas, the house prices were not always as much as they are now. It used to be actually a regular middle class neighborhood, but the Kardashians really made the entire area like shoot up into the millions.
Everyone wants to live next to a celebrity.
Yeah, actually, as weird as that sounds,
it's true though, you know.
People would love, a lot of people would love to do that.
Oprah Winfrey's mother lived in Berkeley. Mm-hmm.
Was Oprah raised there?
No, I don't think so. My friend Josh lived next door to her.
To Oprah?
Mm-hmm. No, not Oprah, her mom.
What was the mother like?
I have no idea. I just knew that she lived there.
Something tells me the mother wasn't perfect because Oprah...
Oh yeah, and Ben and Jerry, the ice cream makers. Oh my God, so embarrassing. Like, they live in Berkeley, and we were going somewhere with Megan's mom, and Megan's mom spotted, either was Ben or Jerry, whichever one with a beard, and she saw him, and she starts waving on the freeway. He's driving right next to us, and she's like waving all crazy, and he's like looking, and he was like waving back, and she's like, oh my God, freaking out. And I was like, it's an ice cream guy. Why is she freaking out? It was cute. I don't know. But that was like one of my first quote unquote celebrity sightings. She was like so amped up. She was so excited, and I was so confused. Memories. Oh. They have a picture with him too. Yeah, that big ass picture. Yep.
Did you send it?
What?
Picture.
What
Did you
picture?
Did you find your ex-boyfriend yet?
No, I found his mom, but I was like, oh, I was telling Violet about this too. I was like, I swear to God, he's a woman now. Oh my God, that thing mocked me. Oh, I gotta send you this picture, Violet. I forgot to send it to you. I'm multi. Alex, what is your nationality?
Okay, I don't know my dad. My mother's side is half Armenian,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other half is a mixture of English, Scottish, I believe some German. It's not German. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That's on his freaking profile for classmates.com. That picture right there and the moles, like the little freckles on the face above the lip on the left-hand side and up on the cheek area, match it. I swear to God, I was like, that is so trippy.
Why is it just not really like this guy?
Oh, you've never met your dad, like he's never been in the picture. Maybe he's white. Or maybe he's full Armenian. I don't know.
Which one?
Your dad.
By looking at myself, I'm sorry, I sound so tired. It's just what happened. Hey, what happened to, what happened to,
Are you there, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome back.
I was wondering, like,
I have my headset on. No, I have my headset. I have Violet on the phone in my ear.
Awesome. Hi, Violet.
She says, hey, to Johnny. She says, hey, Johnny.
Hey, Violet.
I asked her if she wants to come in. She's like, no.
Oh, she don't love us.
Nah, it's just not her thing.
Oh, we'll get her one day.
Person in the background.
You know, I do not like the way they got this set up now.
Every time I go to the chat and I refresh it, it tells me to press Alt to delete or remove people or what the fuck ever. It even says I could pause the chat. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, it's like really weird. So you hold down the Alt key and you scroll over a person and there's a trash can. It says remove. Then it says put user in timeout. And then it says block. And I'm like, why? Why? Like when you can just push the 3 dots and bam, there you are, you know? But now you can't do it. You have to push Alt.
Wow.
More difficult. Especially if you're not savvy with this in the first place.
Right.
So that's obnoxious, but maybe they'll change it back.
Who knows?
Damn, we've been streaming for 3 hours.
Hey, we broke our record.
No, I think we strummed. We stream for like 5-6 hours at a time once.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That was that one night when Ashley was in here.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I stayed up to a god-awful time.
Right.
Alex is...
Yeah. Well, why don't we end this, you guys? I think we've had a wonderful chat. Alex, if you ever need to talk, hit us up.
He's going to be subconsciously hearing that right now.
Yes.
Oh my god. All right.
We're going to end this, girl.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.